day of the week. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What you waiting for? Come and take a seat. Like and subscribe, this is where you wanna be. Cause you know we gon' talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey, you guys. How is everybody doing? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear my voice while there we go. Let me know if you can hear my voice. Let me know, let me know, let me know. How's everybody doing? It's early. I know some of y'all are still at work or just getting off of work. I'm a little earlier than I normally am. More to come out and dispute some more lies, baby. Some more lies. Ooh, Jesus. The lies, the lies, the lies. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay. Well, I hope y'all doing okay. Let me put my disclaimer up because I don't know why it is not here, but every now and again I have to redo this. So basically what it says, as you can see it going across the screen, and I'm getting ready to change the color because, yeah, let's make it green. Okay. I don't like that green. Let's make it yellow. All right. So basically, my disclaimer say everything I said in my mouth is allegedly, okay? It is allegedly. I'm not trying to defame anybody's character, but I am here to straighten up some lies, okay? All right, we are back again, and we will be talking about the Holly Johnson Romeca story. All right. So my title is The Lies, the Lies, the Lies. Okay. Why do I say that? Because content creators are lying to their supporters, okay? And they're doing so to twist the narrative. So over here on Talk About It with Amoira, Amoira is going to dispute the lies. And I'm going to point out to you guys what they are lying about. And then I'm going to tell you why they are lying. Okay. And it could just be as simple as just changing a word. Okay. But we all know sometimes changing of words could mean a total different thing. And I'm going to prove to you guys that today. Okay. All right, so I have a video that I want to show you guys that I put together. Give me a second. Let me take down this. Let me take down some things that I don't want to show you just yet. I do want this to come up. Okay, hold on. Let me put up some things. We are going to go over this. This. Hold on, let me get it together, y'all. That, and then where's my video? And then I want to zoom in on this. And then why not show you this? Oop, not that one yet. We're not there yet, y'all. We're not there yet. We are not there yet. And then this one. And then this one. What do I do with that? I think it's this one. All right, let me just make sure I have them. Okay, so this, remove that one. Okay, now. All right, I just wanted to make sure I have what I will be presenting today up here so that you guys can get a better a picture of what is really going on. Where is my video? Hold on, let me get the video. Oh, and this one. I want this one right here because, oh, I got that one. Okay. Thank y'all for the super chats. Yeah, y'all can go ahead and hit your girl up. I don't have a goal today. So y'all, if y'all want to bless me with anything, y'all can. I appreciate you guys so very much for pouring into my channel. It don't run off of water, honey. You hear me? The channel does not run off of water. Tips is very much appreciated. If you want to tip me, you can do so by sending in a super chat, a super sticker, or you can hit me up on the coffee. Okay? I'm going to show y'all that one tomorrow. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, some things I'm just going to show tomorrow. I'm looking for my video that I put together. But where is it? Oh, this one right here. Okay. So let me bring this video up. I put this one together because of, sometimes you want to hear when someone lie, right? And then you want to show you where they lied. All right. So here we go. Sorry, I'm off to a late start. All right. So now, earlier I heard a content creator go do a video and tell their audience that the autopsy report lines up with what the witness said. Okay. It said the autopsy report. Let me read exactly what. Well, anyway, it says the autopsy report verifies the witness account that Romeca was held in a headlock while being fired upon, is what this person said. Okay. Now, I would play you the video of the person, but I really don't like the person at all because they just a known liar. But I don't want them to strike my channel. So I'm just going to read what they said. Okay. But not only that, I want to do the video and I want to show you how they just blankly lying to their supporters, and they're doing it knowing that they're lying. You know what I'm saying? Because as a content creator, we ought to verify things before we just say things out of our mouths, right? That's why when you guys send me something in my inbox or you put something in the comments, I hesitate to repeat it because it's like I have not verified that. You understand what I'm saying? And y'all know when I first started off, what, 2+ years ago, when I would say things and then I would have to come back and be like, okay, that wasn't true because I wasn't verifying, right? So now I like to verify because I don't want to sound like I'm just talking out the backside of my ass. Do you understand what I'm saying? And some content creators, either they talk out the backside of their ass or they just blankly tell a lie in order to try to twist and paint a narrative to to throw their supporters off, right? To get their supporters emotionally charged. And that's what a lot of these content creators are doing. They're not verifying shit. They're not looking up stuff on their own. They are literally just either one pulling shit out their ass or deliberately, okay, deliberately lying to their supporters to paint a narrative, okay? So when I heard or saw that this particular content creator was saying that Romeca was held in a chokehold while fired upon, I said, that is not what the witness said, even though I do not find the witness credible at all. Now, this is all my opinion, okay? I do not find the witness credible. Hey, Real T. She said the family said she was shot 3 times. Yeah, I heard that she was only shot twice. And I said that yesterday. And somebody came in my comments and said, Amoira, no, she was shot 3 times. And I said, where you see that at? Prove that to me, right? Right? Prove that to me. And they weren't able to prove it to me. They said they heard it on another content creator's platform, the same content creator that is now saying that she was only shot twice. Okay, so I digress, right? Even the witness said she was shot 3 times. Now, when the witness says things like that, that means they're just repeating what they heard. Most likely they heard it from the family, and that's why they are repeating. But let's play this video first, right? And then, well, before we play the video, let me tell you what this particular content creator, another content creator that again, that is not in my video because, again, I don't want them to strike my page. So I'm just going to tell you what they said. Again, they said, Romeca injuries matches the witness account. And even furthermore said that it shows that she was held in a headlock while fired upon. That is a lie from the pits of hell, and I'm going to prove it to you right now, okay? All right, let's take a listen, and hopefully these content creators will go back and clear up the lies that they tell to their supporters. Shame on the content creators for spreading lies. All right, listen up, you guys. Turn your volume up, please, and thank you. Here we go.
I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning, and I was like, this is not right. He was slamming her with.
I sped up the video of their voices because, yeah, ain't nobody got time for this slow shit. Okay, here we go.
the door when she was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female on the other side. So she was literally standing on the other side of the road, and her baby daddy was literally slamming the door on her back. So she went back into her car, came back out, and then this was when the baby daddy walked towards the other baby mama. After this happened, he grabbed her by the waist. She tried to wiggle away from him. Her arm was like literally almost getting free with his arm around her neck at this time, because he was holding her by the waist in the beginning. And
she said, can we say what that is? Yes. So this video is of the witness that has went to at least 2 platforms with her story. So this particular interview right here is the witness that claims that, not the one from yesterday, not to be racial or anything, but not the black witness. This is the Hispanic witness that has went on multiple platforms. This is her speaking about her encounter right before the shot. Okay, this is what this is.
With his arm around her neck this time, because he was holding her by the waist in the beginning, and she wiggled out, after this happened, he had her in the, like, almost looking like a headlock to me on the side. And then the other baby mama stated, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. Watch me shoot you, bitch." And he stated, "Oh, she's gonna go get her gun. She's gonna go get her gun. Watch." And after this happened, she ran to the passenger side of her vehicle, grabbed her gun, went around, and when the woman, the mother, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, as soon as she slipped away.
Now, what am I repeating? I'm repeating the witness say as soon as she slipped away from him. Slipped away. I want y'all to keep that in mind. That's why I repeated it like 3 or 4 times. The witness literally says that as soon as she slipped away, okay? But just keep on. Let me rewind it just a little bit more, all right?
Like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, she shot her. And she shot her in the face, on her side, and in her thigh.
Romeca was shot twice, right? Romeca was shot twice. One on the right side of her face. The other was to her left thigh, which is that's unusual for self-defense.
And that's a lie. He has no idea what he's talking about. But let's continue. Let's continue.
Was to her left thigh, which is that's unusual for self-defense. So she was shot in the face and on the thigh. How could Romeca have ran away if Carlos had her? Right? When the witness said for that split second, Romeca was let go, right?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
For that quick ass second, Romeca was let go.
Who slipped?
So, do you see the word play here? Do you see the word play? The witness said that Romeca slipped away. Slipped away means she got free on her own. Another content creator said Romeca was let go, meaning that the holder, Carlos, chose to release her. Do you see the wordplay here? That is what you call lies. That is lies. It's deliberate lies. Sometimes it only takes one word to try to change a whole narrative, right? I'm going to let you listen to that again because people will do this to you, right? To try to change the way you see things, right? So let's listen to it again. Let's listen to it again.
And to the passenger side of her vehicle, grabbed her gun, went around, and when the woman, the mother, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, who slipped away from him, she shot her. and she shot her in the face, on her side, and in her thigh.
Romeca was shot twice, right? Romeca was shot twice. One on the right side of her face. The other was to her left thigh, which is that's unusual for self-defense. So she was shot in the face and on the thigh. How could Romeca have ran away if Carlos had her? Right? When the witness said for that split second, Romeca was let go, right?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
for that quick ass second, Romeca was let go.
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Quadeja had the gun?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
that's the only reason he let her go, to stop himself from getting shot.
Okay. As you see here, this particular content creator has chose to lie to his audience and say that Carlos let her go. Okay? Now, you hear the witness say that Romeca got away from him the first time and he grabbed her again. Now, if you didn't hear that, I can go back and play that again. Let me do that just for GP, okay? Because early on, she says Romeca got away and he grabbed her again, but this time by the neck.
Standing on the other side of the road, and her with a door when she was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female on the other side. So she was literally standing on the other side of the road, and her baby daddy was literally slamming the door on her back. So she went back into her car, came back out, and then this was when the baby.
Now, when you slamming the door on somebody's back, that means they are facing the car. If he's slamming the door on her back, that means he's trying to get her in the car, right? He's slamming the door on her back, meaning that she was not facing him. She was literally turned around, facing directly to the car, okay? Let me play it again.
On her back. So she went back into. She was literally standing on the other side of the road, and her baby.
And do you see the position of Holly? She's standing on the other side of the road. She's nowhere near Romeca, okay?
Standing on the other side of the road, and her baby daddy was literally slamming the door on her back. So she went back into her car, came back out, and then this was when the baby daddy walked towards the.
Now, right here, listen here. I want you to hear this because they said yesterday, somebody came up on my panel and said that Romeca got in her car and Holly came over there and started taunting her and she got back out. But listen to this witness. How can Holly be taunting her and she got back out if Holly is standing on the other side of the road? I want you to listen up, okay? That's what the person said yesterday, that Romeca got in her car and I guess was about to leave, and Holly came over to her and started fucking with her and she got back out. But I want you to hear what this, and she said she got it from the witness, okay? Now listen to what this witness is saying. God damn it, why does it do this to me? Give me a second. It always does this shit. Hold on. Give me a second. It does this, and then I have to take it down and put it back up. I don't know why. Give me a second. All right, let me pull it back up. All right, hold on. Let's get it back.
I saw them. when she was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female on the other side. So she was literally standing on the other side of the road, and her baby daddy was literally slamming the door on her back. So she went back into her car, came back out, and then this was when the baby daddy walked towards the other baby mama. After this happened, he grabbed her by the waist. She tried to wiggle away from him. Her arm was like literally almost getting free with his arm around her neck this time, because he was holding her by the waist in the beginning and she wiggled out, you know. After this,
he was holding by her waist in the beginning and she wiggled out. Okay. So what does that say? That is a person trying to restrain another person, trying to stop another person. Okay. That's what that means. That person, Carlos, is trying to restrain her. She wiggled out. Let's listen to it again. And listen, you do not have to be a master graduate, even though I am a master graduate. Hey, pat myself on the motherfucking back. But you do not have to be a master graduate or a doctorate or whatever to dissect these things, okay? But you do have to have a little common sense, all right? All right, let's go.
He grabbed her by the waist. She tried to wiggle away from him. Her arm was like literally almost getting free with his arm around her neck this time, because he was holding her by the waist in the beginning and she wiggled out, you know. After this happened, he had her in the like almost looking like a headlock to me on the side, and then she stated, the other baby mama stated, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. Watch me shoot you, bitch." And he stated, "Oh, she's gonna go get her gun. She's gonna go get her gun. Watch, watch." And after this happened, she ran to the passenger side of her vehicle, grabbed her gun, went around, and when the woman, the mother, you know, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, she shot her. And she shot her in the face, on her side, and in her thigh.
So right there proves the person that said that Romeca was shot while in a headlock is a lie from the pits of hell. Okay. The girl slipped away and was shot. Let me play that one more time. Right? Romeca slipped away before she was shot. She was not being held in no goddamn headlock while she was shot. That man was trying to restrain her from attacking Holly. Okay. He was trying to de escalate the situation, not hold her so they can ambush Romeca and unalive her. All right. Let's listen one more time.
The woman, the mother, you know, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, she shot her. And she shot her in the face, on her side, and in her thigh.
Romeca what? And let me just say this. So you already know the witness has to be talking to the family to even, or someone to even try to say she was shot in this place, and this place. Because let me tell you something. Without a full forensic report, is no way a witness can tell you where a shot entered, even though it may look like it entered in this particular area, right? It does not necessarily mean it did. So for her to even definitively say she was shot in the face, the side, and the thigh, she was just repeating public information or what someone told her. Okay. So now apparently the autopsy report is out, and Keys is now saying that she was shot twice in the face and in the thigh. Okay. Now the right side of the face and the left side of the thigh. And he's saying that this doesn't indicate a self-defense. Well, a face shot is not somebody trying to break away, right? Or turn away or retreat, okay? Because if she was trying to retreat, she would not have been shot in the face. She would have been shot like in the back of the head or the back, anywhere in the back, right? But the fact that she was shot in the face, meaning that she was facing forward, or even slightly to the right, but definitely not trying to retreat. And and I am going to show this. People may get upset, and if you don't want to see it, I did blur it out a little bit more, but I want to show you the body of Romeca where she landed, and the reason being is because if she was held by the door, right, as the witness said, and she was trying to get away, her body would not be close to Holly's car. Again, this is a photo of Holly's car, the black car that Carlos is standing right in front of. And where I blurred out, that is where the body landed. So does that show you that a person that slipped away, let's rewind that a little bit, slipped away and ran to her car, or slipped away and ran toward the shooter? Listen up.
The woman, the mother, who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him. As soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, she shot her. And she shot her.
As soon as she slipped away, she shot her. Where is the body? No disrespect to the family, no disrespect to the deceased. I'm about real, I'm about facts. I am about the truth, not trying to disrespect the dead or anything like that, but the truth needs to be out there. They're trying to paint Holly as this cold-blooded killer, and I am here to tell the truth. And all I ask is for them to tell the truth or shut the fuck up, one or the other, okay? I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. I did blur the body, all right, out of respect for Romeca and her family. But where is the body? Where is the body? It is close to Holly's vehicle, her vehicle, right? Not only that, let's continue to listen because I want to say something else. Let's go.
In the face, on her side, and in her thigh.
Romeca was shot twice.
Now, listen, if you are shot to your face, for anybody, raise your hand if you are a weapon carrier, and have actually fired a weapon before in your life, because weapon carriers don't always mean that you fire. But raise your hand if you've ever fired a weapon. I want my weapon firers. One that has a weapon that has actually utilized the weapon. Raise your hand in the comments. All right, Queen T, I see you. Dakota, I see you. Bree, I see you. Sassy D, Sonia C, I see you. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of weapon carriers. So for those that have fired a weapon, I want you to answer me something. When you fire your weapon at a target, what happens to that target? Does the bullet force it backwards or forward? When you fire at a target, have you ever seen your target fall forward after being shot or backwards? Well, it depends on where you shoot them at, right? But if you shoot them from the front, their front in the face, she would have fell backwards. If she shot from the back, she would have fell forward. But if she shot from the front, she's going to fall where? A bullet is so strong, y'all. Like, it is so forceful that it will force you. Like, unless you He-Man and shit. We ain't talking about TV, though, right? We talking about real life, right? So if you shoot someone and they're shot in the face, they are going to fall backwards. They are immediately going to fall backwards, right? So, and that's what happened. She was felled backwards, and the EMTs, they are the one that put her on her side. How do I know that? Because it says it in the report. It says it in the report that they rolled her on her side. I'll get to that in a minute, right? It says that they rolled her on her side to stop the blood because it was gushing out, right? They rolled her on her side to try to stop some of the blood, right? but she fell backwards because that bullet is so forceful. Someone that's shot to the face mean that they were advancing, moving. And when I say shot to the face, let me correct that. Keys said that the shots does not indicate self-defense. But let me tell you what it does. When someone is shot on the right side of their face and on the left side of their thigh, that is a moving target. That is not a stationary target. She was not stationary. That is an absolute lie. That is a moving target. Face and thigh, moving target. But let me tell you what's about to seal the deal. And then we're going to get back to the video in just a second. But let me tell you what seals the deal. Again, you see this photo. You see where she's at, right? You see she is very near Holly's car. But watch this. Holly has blood on her shoes, her socks, and her pants leg, bottom area. That right there shows you that they were very close when the shot was fired. Now, look at this. How is Romeca's DNA on Holly? It's not, I don't see it on the bottom of the shoes. It might be on the bottom of the shoes, but I don't see that. I see on the top of the shoes, I see on the pants leg, and I see on her socks. Blood splatter. They were close. Very, very close. All of this stuff matters. Again, this is not a scene of someone retreating. This is a scene of someone advancing in Holly's direction. Now, you're going to see that Carlos has bloodstains on him as well. Okay? Again, where do you see the bloodstains by the black car? It was near Holly, not near Romeca. Look at it. Do Romeca vehicle look like there's any bloodstains over there? Absolutely not. So with the statement, right, saying as soon as she got away, right?
And the woman, the mother, who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, as soon as she slipped away, who slipped away from him, she shot her.
So as soon as she slipped away, she shot her. But she was shot in the face and the thigh. That is not a retreat. That is not a stationary. She slipped away and she ended up advancing forward, closer to Holly's direction. And this young man says, this is not a self-defense wound. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. That means that she was coming toward Holly. Look at where the body lies. Here's another picture. If you look at this picture, the bloodstains are where? Look at Romeca's vehicle. They are literally past the tires. Past the tires. The bloodstains is where? In front of Holly's car. Right to, not front, I'm sorry. To the side door, right near the side door of Holly's car. Holly's vehicle. Right? The other photo that's up here. That is so close to Holly's vehicle. She was close, y'all. I'm talking about close. This is not of a person that's trying to get away from Holly. This is a person that's advancing toward Holly. Okay? if she was running away from Holly, right? She dropped right near Holly's car. Holly got bloodstains on her, and so does Carlos. But Carlos was over by the body, leaning over and doing that type of stuff. But Holly got those blood splatters because she was up and close to her victim, to the victim. They were up close and personal. So to say that these are not defensive wounds, if the shots was from the back, anywhere on the back, then no, that wouldn't be defensive wounds. That would be of someone retreating. But these wounds was in the front, the face and the thigh. So to sit here and say that she was in a headlock when she was shot, when you clearly hear that the witness say she slipped away, and then Keys spins the lie. Listen to what he says, because he has an agenda. He's trying to appease the family, okay?
In the face, on her side, and in her thigh.
Romeca was shot twice, right? Romeca was shot twice. One on the right side of her face. The other was to her left thigh, which is that's unusual for self-defense.
Now, he has no idea what he's talking about. That's unusual for self-defense. Obviously, he's not looked up self-defense at all. That is of a moving target, okay? That's of a forward or slight right facing moving target, okay?
So she was shot in the face and on the thigh. How could Romeca have ran away if Carlos had her? Right? When the witness said for that split second, Romeca was let go, right?
Who slipped away from it?
Let go and slipped away means two different things. Now, I don't know what level of education he has, and I do not want to insult anybody's intelligence, but maybe he just don't know that, though that means two different things, okay? Slipped away and let go means two different things, and it paints two different pictures, okay? The witness said slipped away, meaning that she got away on her own free will. She got away free on her own. Let go, he chose to release her. He let go of the restraints. That is two different things, and it is very vindictive of him to put one out when other one was said. That is deliberate. Don't think not one time that was not deliberately done, okay? Let's go back.
That's for that split second, Romeca was let go, right?
Who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
For that quick ass second, Romeca was let go.
Who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work.
And he said, what if Romeca wanted to run away? Romeca slipped away earlier. We heard the witness say Romeca slipped away. She wiggled away from him earlier, right? And he had to restrain her yet again. But the reason why he put this on there is called fluff. What if she wanted to get away is what he's saying, right? But it doesn't make sense because he contradicts himself and says, what if she wanted to get away? And then he's going to come back and tell you that she was let go so that she could be shot by Holly. Take a listen for yourself.
away from him for at least maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Quadeja had the gun?
Who slipped away from him for at least
Now, did you hear him how he contradicted himself? He said, what if she was trying to run away? And then turn around and say, what if Carlos let her go because Holly had the gun. He literally contradicts himself right in mid-sentence. Take a listen once again. He implies that what if Romeca wanted to run away, and then he turns around and replies that Carlos let her go because, right?
Right? Crazy work, right?
Let's go back.
Go.
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
Did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away?
What if she wanted to run away?
Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Quadeja had the gun?
What if Romeca was trying to run away? What if he let her go? Do you see how he's trying to play the two? He's trying to play the two. He's trying to say, what if she wanted to run away? Meaning, what if she wanted to flee from Holly, is what he's saying. And then he turns around and say, what if Carlos let her go? Carlos never let her go. She got away, okay?
For that split second, Romeca was let go, right?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
For that quick ass second, Romeca was let go.
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
Did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Quadeja had the gun?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
that's the only reason he let her go. To stop.
Then he turns around and say, that's the only reason Carlos let her go. Do you see the play here? Do you see the play? He literally lies, twists what the witness said, and forms his own narrative to paint a picture to his audience. Now he's trying to feed them that she didn't slip away. He let her go because Holly had the weapon. So what he's trying to say here is Carlos let her go because he wanted her to be shot. This is a deliberate lie to twist the narrative. This is not from an ethical person. An ethical person would not say these things. He is deliberately saying this to play on the emotions of people that don't know how to read, write, or comprehend. Again, let me say this. He's playing on the emotions of those that do not know how to read, write, or comprehend. Because if they knew how to read, write, or comprehend, they would know that he is lying. Let's go back again. Give me a second.
As soon as she slipped away,
For that quick ass second, Romeca was let go.
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
Did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Quadeja had the gun?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
that's the only reason he let her go. To stop himself from getting shot.
Then he says he let her go to stop himself from being shot. Now, there's other content creators that's saying that she was shot while being held in a headlock. If he was holding her in a headlock and there was two shots, one to the face and one to the thigh, then Carlos definitely would have been in the line of fire. It would have been very well possible for him to have received a shot, meaning that it could have hurt him, harmed him, okay? Right? If he was in the line of fire, if he was indeed holding her. Because what we do know is you cannot tell a bullet where to go, right? You can aim, right? Unless you're some type of qualified expert sniper, you cannot say, I want you to land in the finger. I want you to land in the shoulder. I want you to land in the head or whatever, right? You fire and the bullet goes where the bullet goes. Most people, and Holly was only like 150 pounds. Most people, when you fire, the gun is going to throw you back as well. Not like to the ground, throw you back, but it's going to jerk you. If you've ever fired before, the gun is going to jerk you. And meaning that even if you fire at a leg, when it jerks you, it may end up somewhere else. Okay? If you fire a weapon, you know what I'm talking about. Let's listen to it again. That he puts his emotions on it at the end and says he lied and say the reason why Carlos let her go is so that he wouldn't get shot himself. Okay?
Did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Quadeja had the gun?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
that's the only reason he let her go, to stop himself from getting shot.
That's the only reason why he let her go, to stop himself from being shot. But then, even on top of that, this is just one content creator. But then you have other content creators that are literally telling their audience that Romeca was shot while still in a headlock. Like, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be she slipped away? Is it going to be he let her go? Or is it going to be she was shot while being held in a headlock? Which one is it going to be? Because, see, the detectives has a job to do, and they can't go off emotions, okay? And they can't go off of conflicting information, right? So when they put everything together, the witness statement, and then the autopsy report where the bullets landed, and then the blood splatter, right? And then where the body land, how close it was to the vehicle of Holly's versus Romeca, it paints a different story, you guys. It does not fit the narrative that these content creators are out here lying on Holly or the witness, because the witness also made it seem like Holly came for Romeca, right? She's trying to say Holly came for Romeca. I pointed this out yesterday. If Holly was advancing toward Romeca, why did the body land closer to Holly's vehicle than Romeca's? Why did the shot land in the face and the thigh and not the back or the elbow area or the back of her leg? She was not retreating. Don't believe the lies. Some of these content creators out here are deliberately lying to you. They are purposely lying to you to paint a narrative that they want you to believe. I'm not here for it. I will not do it. I don't care who feelings it hurts or who it helps. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you look at the blood spots, you will see Holly's car tire right here. That is nowhere near Holly's door, but it's right outside. Excuse me, not Holly's door, but nowhere near Romeca's door, but right outside of Holly's vehicle, where her son, you guys, is in the back seat of the car. And where does Romeca land? Right outside of Holly's car. It would be very hard for any prosecutor or jury to say that Holly came after Romeca. But it would be very easy for a jury and the defense team to prove that Romeca came after Holly. You fall backwards when you are shot from the front. You fall forward when you're shot from behind. It says that she was laying on her back, blood was gushing from her face, and the EMTs had to switch her and turn her to her side to stop the blood from just gushing out. She didn't even die right there on the scene. She died in the hospital. She died in the hospital. The blood that's on Holly's clothing, on her leg, on her socks, on her feet, on her shoes, should I say, it screams closeness. They were very close. She had a restraining order that said Romeca was supposed to remain 1,000 feet away. 1,000 feet away. But yet, Romeca's white vehicle pulls up to the side of Holly's car. Her body ends up right, very, very close to Holly's car doors. Holly's car doors. But you have people out here want you to believe that this was a cold-blooded murderer. Cold-blooded murder from a murderer, somebody that was jealous, mad, vindictive over another young lady. The crime scenes, the witness statements, and the blood splatter tells you differently. And the position of the body tells you differently. You have to use what God gave you, and you have to do research before you just come out and repeating bullshit or listening to people that deliberately twist the facts. Again,
Right? When the witness said for that split second, Romeca was let go, right?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
For that quick ass second, Romeca was let go.
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
Did Romeca have time to run away? What if she wanted to run away? Right? Crazy work, right? What if she was trying to run away? What if Carlos let her go because Cordelia had the gun?
Who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second. As soon as she slipped away,
that's the only reason he let her go, to stop himself from getting shot.
then he puts his emotions on it and say, that's the only reason why he let her go. That's the only reason why he let her go, to stop himself from being shot. Okay? Now, again, the restraining order was in place. Holly was with her baby daddy, putting the baby into the car, to the vehicle, when Romeca drove up. Okay? She drove up and she got out the vehicle. Holly didn't flag her down. Holly didn't invite her over. Holly didn't, get in front of her vehicle and stop her from advancing, right? She pulled up, which immediately put herself in a criminal activity, right? Because a restraining order says stay away. She pulled up. Once she pulled up and got out of the vehicle, she was in a commission of a crime, a criminal activity. That alone, with a restraining order and Holly Child in the vehicle, it presents imminent danger, and she had every right to retrieve her weapon, right? Retrieve her weapon and protect herself. Self-defense does not equal murder. Do not let people lie to you out of emotions. Do not let people lie to you because they do not comprehend. Do not let people twist words to switch the narrative. Again, we have to wait till everything comes out, right? You know, and I believe that it will come out, and I believe that Holly will be found that she acted in self-defense. When you have all of this evidence put together, a restraining order, right? Pictures of the crime scene, blood splatters on the shoes, 19 threats made to her life, her child's life. A restraining order signed by the judge saying stay away from her and stay away from her child, right? The witness statement, you got two witnesses. Even though they're different, they make different statements. What you do here in both of the statements is Carlos was trying to restrain Romeca. The only time that you have to restrain someone as if they are trying to do something to someone else. They are trying to move forward, advance toward another target. You don't restrain someone that's just trying to have a casual conversation with you. You restrain someone from trying to do something, get at something. And let's just be smart about it. If you're trying to restrain someone and they end up in the front of the shooter's vehicle, then they was going toward the shooter. Don't believe the lies, you guys. Don't allow people's emotions to sway your belief. Look at the facts. Look at it all. Listen to what the witness statement says. Both of them both said Carlos was holding Romeca back. Not one time did they say Carlos was holding Holly back. If Carlos was holding Holly back, right? One or two of those witnesses would have said that. Holly was not the aggressor. The aggressor was the one that was being held back, restrained. If Holly was the aggressor, why wasn't Holly being held back? And for those saying that it was set up together, that Holly and Carlos set it up together, I just need you to answer me one thing. If it was a setup, then why did Romeca pull up and get out on them? And they didn't pull up and get out where Romeca was. Romeca violated a lawful order to stay away from Holly after she made 19 threats to her family, Holly's friend, and toward her own 6-month-old son. Threats were made. Threats were made. The judge saw fit to do a 2-year active restraining order, hopefully to have things die down, or that she just stopped wanting to fight the girl, or whatever the case may be, right? The restraining order was put in place in July, and 2 months later, in September, she violated an active restraining order, and she came after the person that was under legal protections. There's no other way to see this. Yes, 19 threats. She made 19 threats. I will go over those threats again. Let me pull them up. Let's go over the threats, because I want people to realize if somebody make these type of threats to you, you tell me, what are you supposed to do? Give me a second. Let me get them. Let me get the threats. All right, here we go. Romeca Blackman called my grandmother's cell phone on December the 3rd at 12:48 p.m. twice and said, "Is this Esther Johnson? I am going to KI your granddaughter, Khadijah." On November the 14th, Romeca Blackman liked a video on my TikTok, and I immediately blocked her. On November the 8th, Romeca Blackman reached out to my close friend Rebecca by phone, stating she's going to beat my ass. On November the 7th, Romeca Blackman called my phone unknown multiple times that day from her phone and her son's cell phone. So now she didn't use her 6-year-old son's phone. I have an app on my phone that shows me who's calling me unknown. That's how I knew who was calling me unknown. On October the 29th and on October the 30th, Romeca Blackman called my phone unknown multiple times that day as well. And I have an app that shows me who's calling unknown from her son's phone and from her phone. On September the 28th, Romeca Blackman called me multiple times that day and said, she hopes me and my baby die. She said she's going to bust my head open when she sees me. On September the 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th, Romeca Blackman called my phone multiple times a day asking where I'm at and what she's going to do to me. Also, while she was on the phone, I could hear her hitting Carlos while saying to her sons, while her son was saying, stop hitting my dad. On August the 27th, Romeca Blackman called my phone multiple times that day saying, she's going to kill me. On October the 9th, she called me unknown multiple times at 2 a.m. in the morning. I was asleep and did not answer. On September the 16th, Romeca Blackman texted my phone with bothering messages. On September the 15th, Romeca Blackman texted me. On September the 7th, Romeca Blackman called and texted me and sent me inappropriate videos of her private area. On August the 28th, Romeca called me and left a message. Left me a voicemail. She left me a voicemail on multiple occasions. Romeca Blackman has reached out to me multiple times on Instagram, calling and writing to me multiple times. May 13 was the most recent harassment on Instagram. Romeca Blackman Googled my name and found my grandmother's address, found my mother's phone number, found my grandmother's phone number, and is currently seeking my home address. Romeca Blackman called my friend Rebecca unknown and straight through multiple times a day as well. Romeca Blackman texts my mother's phone looking for me. Romeca Blackman texts Carlos' phone, my grandmother's address, and also called Rebecca and told Rebecca she now has my grandmother's address. Do you hear all of these threats? And for anyone to sit here and say Holly was jealous or bothered by Romeca, and that doesn't even matter, even if she was jealous, she was well within her rights to seek a protection order against a woman that has made multiple threats to her, multiple threats to her family, multiple threats to her infant child, right? She was well within her rights to seek legal protection, in which she did. And she was well within her rights to protect herself under the Second Amendment, which we are all privy to as long as you don't have a criminal background, like a felony or whatever on your records. So she was well within her rights to buy protection. She was well within her rights to carry her protection on her, especially while being in the area, right? She was well within her rights. So for anybody that want to add fluff and say, oh, she was just a jealous woman, she didn't pull up on Romeca. Romeca pulled up on her. Romeca violated a legal, lawful order to stay the fuck away from Holly and her child. But she disregarded, disobeyed, right, those orders and came in the presence of Holly. So if anybody say Holly took her weapon and fired it on Romeca, out of being vindictive, malice, or any type of hate, you're missing a bigger picture. You are missing a bigger picture. When someone takes the necessary steps, right, to get legal protection, and it's not always an easy transition, you have to go back to court multiple times. That says, I want to be protected under the law, because most people would give up and say, just fuck it. I'm sick of going back to court. I'm sick of dealing with this. I just want to be done with it. But when you continue to push forward, appear in court, that means you are standing on business. That means you are saying, Your Honor, I need protection. This has went on too long. My grandmother is afraid for my life. I am afraid for my life. My friends are afraid for my life, and I am afraid for my child's life. If you are a mother and do not understand a mother's role is to protect not only herself, but that of her offsprings, which is her children, then obviously you don't understand what a good mother is. She did the legal steps. She did what she had to do. Romeca violated those orders. Now, I'm getting ready to do something that may piss people off, but if it does, just understand it's a pattern that I am showing, not trying to paint nobody in no bad light, but the patterns need to be shown. So again, I'm going to be showing you these videos that were sent to me of her behaviors. Give me a second. I put them all on one video, so hold on. Let me pull it up this way. It's the patterns. Understand the patterns, not to paint nobody in no bad light, but the defense, if this ever goes to court, they're gonna do it anyway. So if it offend you, just don't watch. And I'm okay with that. Give me a second. You know what? I think it'd just be easier for me to do it like this. Hold on one second. Oh shit. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I was talking my ass off. Y'all didn't hear me? I'm so sorry. Let's start over. This is Romeca in front of her child, getting ready to or threatening to do harm to her kid's father in front of her son's face.
You want to keep lying? This how I feel when somebody keep lying to somebody. Why did you lie? Tell me why you lied. Tell me why you lied. Why
Oh
did you lie?
shit. I'm sorry.
Why do you lie so much?
Oh shit.
Why do you lie so much? I'm talking to you. What? Talk to me and I'll throw it down. Oh, whooping shit. Why did you lie? I ain't whooping shit. You know I want. Hey, you know I ain't. I don't fuck with you no more, and I'll destroy this bitch. Every window, even the top. I'll bust the motherfucking windshields out. Why did you lie? Why did you lie?
I don't know why it's so low. And this is just a video showing where she actually did what she said she was gonna do, and that is bust out his sunroof, window, and all that shit.
What with your mama? Don't leave your son out. I just heard. Just talk. Come on, Ricardo. If I see that twin around you, I'm gonna crack her ass. Get the fuck away from
Now, if you don't know what she just said, she said, if I see that twin around you, I'ma drag her ass. Well, she said, I'ma drag that bitch, I think. And she said, watch, watch. Let's go back a little bit. If I see that twin around you, I'ma drag her ass. Watch.
I just heard. Just talk. Come on, Ricardo. If I see that twin around you, I'm gonna crack her ass. Get the fuck away from Hang up the phone right now, bitch. You wanna sit on the phone and sneak this me? To a red ass bitch? You go go right to jail. You wanna sneak this me? Yes, she did. She a slut. She a slut. And I put it to bed. I got her and she said, record me. And then if any one of them wanna lie, call me for them hoes. For you, Kaya, and her Holly. She said, call her. Hey, Mario.
Now, she's mentioning Holly's name in this video, okay? She's already showing aggression as she pulls up in the same white car that she pulled up at the scene, okay? Again, the same white car that she pulled up at the scene. She's being very aggressive in this upcoming clip.
Hang up the phone right now.
Same white car.
You want to sit on the phone and sneak this me? To a red ass bitch? You go go right to jail. With her friend? You want to sneak this me? Yes, she did. She a slut. She a slut, and her friend just said, and I got her, and she said, record me. And then if any one of them want to lie, call me for them hoes. For you, Kaya, and her Holly. She said, call her. Hey, Mario. What we talking about? But I'm lying. But I'm lying. But I'm lying. But I'm lying. I thought you were home. Ain't that what you said? I'm at home.
This next clip, she's coming to his house or whatever, trying to check him, saying that he spoke with her for 45 minutes while he was in the vehicle or on his way to another woman's house.
You ain't nowhere near home. You ain't nowhere near at home. And I ring your both bells. What you study lying for? I knew you was pulling up to a bitch crib. That's why you blocked me. Like I said, you was pulling up to her crib. Bitch, I ain't stupid. Y'all whole lights on up there and everything. Who the fuck you think you lying to, Carlos? All you do is lie. All you fucking do is lie. All your ass do is lie. Bitch who was just on the phone with me for 45 minutes driving to a bitch house arguing with me, and the whole time you pulling up to a bitch crib.
As I watched the videos, I noticed these familiar gates, and I also slowed it down to look at a restaurant that was at the corner. The restaurant is Sharks Fish and Chicken, which is at the corner of Cermak and South State Street.
The deadly shooting happened this morning right here along Cermak near State.
The restaurant is here, and the unaliving happened right here on the corner of Cermak and South State Street. The restaurant is here, and this is exactly where Romeca was going to ring the buzzer.
In her crib, bitch, I ain't stupid. Y'all whole lights on up there and everything. Who the fuck you think you lying to, Carlos? All you do is lie. All you fucking do is lie. All your ass do is lie, bitch. You was just on the phone with me for 45 minutes driving to a bitch house arguing with me, and the whole time you pulling up to a bitch crib.
Holly is stated to have said, "I feared for my life," and perhaps that, along with the restraining order, helped her to get out of this situation. However, not everyone, including her friends, are okay with her actions.
Me and Holly is from the same town, right? And this is for real. Her mom used to babysit me and my cousin when we were kids. Our family kind of grew up. I wouldn't say grew up together, but I know them basically through my grandmother. We all been cool. Holly was not jealous of this girl. Not at all. And I'm telling you,
And you hear her friends say Holly was not jealous of this girl, okay? Holly was not jealous of her. And when I see Holly, let me just say it like this. Holly, well, I ain't gonna say that because pretty girls can be jealous, right? Pretty girls can be insecure, but it don't appear to me that Holly was jealous, because jealous of what? Who would really be jealous of a violent, overly aggressive, uh non-taintable human being? Who would really be jealous of someone like that? You know what I'm saying? What does she have that Holly did not have? I don't see how Holly could be jealous of someone that seems that need medication real bad. Like, why would you be jealous? You know, people be thinking weird shit. You know what I mean? Jealous of what? What did Holly have that she didn't have? Excuse me, what did Romeca have that Holly didn't have? You know what I'm saying? Holly looked like she's not looked, but appeared to be someone that wasn't from the streets, whereas Romeca is from the streets. Like, I don't know too many women that's jealous of women from the street. Like, seriously.
not at all. And I'm telling you, I actually come down, right? And this is for real. Her mom used to babysit me and my cousin when we were kids. Our family kind of grew up. I wouldn't say grew up together, but I know them basically through my grandmother. We all been cool. Holly was not jealous of this girl. Not at all. And I'm telling you, I actually come.
Why would she be? She the new baby mama.
She was. Holly comes from good people. I'm talking about good, solid ass people. She don't come from no bum ass family. She ain't hurting for no motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying? She got her shit together. This is one. Me personally, as a person, as somebody that knows her, I'm just upset at the decision that she made to shoot this girl. You know what I mean? Romeca, I think I said her name right. I hate that Romeca lost her life in this situation or whatever, but I think that we're painting a picture of Holly that is not a picture of them painting a Holly that is not true.
So look, it's good that you say that. It's good that you say
So her friend is basically saying, despite the fact that she does not like Holly made the decision to pull her weapon out, she's saying that the picture, that the narrative that's being spreaded about Holly is just not true. She's not this monster, this villain, this cold-blooded, calculated, jealous person or killer that people are trying to paint her out to be. And I believe it. I believe wholeheartedly that the things that they are lying on Holly about is not true. Is not true. If you look at the two family dynamics, when a person comes from a good family, right? And we've seen some things that indicates that Holly was a, experienced, well-traveled, kind of little spoiled, little bougie, a little bit type woman, kind of like me. You know what I mean? Got a taste of the good life or whatever, right? Women like us don't get jealous of just people with loud mouths that like to make threats, pull up, and think that, they're gonna fight you and shit. We don't get jealous of those type of people. We actually feel sorry for those type of people. But we do protect ourselves from those type of people just in case they get out of hand. You understand what I'm saying? But people like myself, we're not jealous of street people. No way, no how. Okay? Hold on, let me see if that's the rest of the video. Okay, but anyway, that's about. Oh, well, hold on.
answer you this. How do you feel like
This
you
is my
supposed to think
stuff.
about
What
those?
I'm telling you is, I don't like the decisions that she made. And I don't mean to cut you off, but I was just looking at the comments. I don't like the decision that she made. But at the same time, everybody has a fucking breaking point. You cannot keep bullying people. And this goes for all the young kids that's even watching. You can't keep bullying people and expect them to respond in a certain way.
That's true.
We cannot expect that. It's not a decision I would have made, but it wasn't me. That's just me.
Romeca pulled up on Holly at Lowe's house.
Okay, so again, I only wanted to show that her own friend. Well, in this one, I wanted to show a pattern, which the defense will show. To be honest with you, this does not mean that on this fatal day, September the 8th, it does not mean that what am I trying to say? Her actions before don't necessarily mean that she'll do the same thing and whatnot on this particular day. But I just know the defense will show a pattern. But not only the defense will show a pattern, the prosecution will show a pattern as well, right? So the prosecution will dig into Holly's background, right? And go and look for anything that Holly has ever done or Holly has ever said, right? That was violent in nature, that was harmful, to also paint a pattern. To also paint a pattern. However, with the pattern, right? Excuse me, with the pattern and also the restraining order and the fact that she had her kid in the car that day, that day will definitely paint a picture not only to the it'll be the courts, the jury, you understand what I'm saying? And you know, with all these evidence, it's just in my humble opinion, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but in my humble opinion, for me looking at this, and no, I'm not a detective, I'm not a lawyer. However, I have good comprehension skills, and I do not see nowhere that they will not find her in self-defense. I don't see nowhere that this will not be deemed self-defense. I even looked at murder too. I looked at manslaughter. It doesn't even fit manslaughter, right? And I looked at murder too. And you have to understand, they have to prove without a reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. So even if 9 jurors think that it was murder two, because it's not murder one. The reason why it's not murder one, because she didn't pull up on her, right? So it can't be murder one, right? But murder two is accidental. No, actually, manslaughter is accidental. Murder two is unintentional, um, unintentional murder, right? But the fact that she had a restraining order, and the matter of fact, I got it written down. Let me explain it to you. The murder one, the murder two, and the manslaughter. It doesn't even qualify for manslaughter, so that's the least of it. And it doesn't qualify for murder one. So murder two, but I'm gonna go over each one of them for you right quick. It just doesn't fit, you guys. I'm just being honest with you. But let me break down the different charges. Uh, where did I do that? Murder. Da, 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 da. I don't even know if I could say that on my channel, but it's okay. If they deem me for it, I'll just go block it out or something like that. But let me get to the different charges, because I absolutely wanted to know, like, what could she possibly, and then when it broke it all the way down, I was like, oh man, it would definitely be hard for them to get a jury to see it this way without a reasonable doubt. Because you have to understand, reasonable doubt is huge. If the defense can prove reasonable doubt, they can't convict her. And that's why I think a lot of these bloggers, they're gonna be, they're gonna, I don't know, they're gonna be upset. But hold on. Let me get to, and then unfortunately, all of the witness statement is not going to they're going to end up if the witness even go to court, they're going to find it non-credible, right? Because she's changed her story multiple times. She's been out here talking to the public. They're going to dog walk her. They're literally going to dog walk her. Like if you are a true witness, do you know? I didn't even know this actually. A witness cannot take a stance, meaning that a witness cannot be Team Romeca or Team Holly. They can't. You cannot be a Team Romeca and then be a witness, right? And you cannot be in your emotions and say, "Oh, I don't think it was self-defense," and blah blah blah. You can't do that. You have taken a stance. They will deem the witness non-credible. They will say that she is emotionally tied to the family. But hold on, let me just do it again because I can't see it. Can you break down first degree? Huh? All right, so let me see. Hold on, I just want to let me turn this light on. It done got dark. Hold on one second, y'all. It done got dark in this office, baby. All right, I had to close these blinds. All right, so I'm gonna break down what they would have to prove in order for her to get the charge, and then what would be the sentence if she gets these charges, if they find her guilty. All right. So I said, what would the state have to prove for each one of these charges? So for murder one, all right, let's explain what murder one is. First of all, first degree is the same thing. Under the Illinois law, a person commits first degree when they intentionally kill another or intentionally inflict great bodily harm, knowing it creates a strong probability of death or bodily harm, or commit a forcible felony during which a death results. That is a felony murder rule. This is the most serious homicide offense in the state of Illinois. All right. Now, the second degree, if Illinois second degree murder is not a standalone primary charge, but arises when first degree murder elements are presented, but there is a mitigating factor. Example of mitigating factor includes the defendant believed that the circumstances justified the use of deadly force, but that belief was unreasonable, so it was imperfect self-defense. That's what it's called, imperfect self-defense. The defendant act under sudden and intense passion as a result of serious provocation. So second degree murder is essentially a reduced form of first degree when the legal system recognizes those mitigating circumstances. Now, manslaughter. Manslaughter is a killing without the intent required for murder, often due to reckless or negligent actions. It may be described as involuntary manslaughter, no intent to kill, but reckless or negligent actions, or voluntarily manslaughter, intent to kill or harm, but under circumstances such as sudden passion. In Illinois, manslaughter is the lesser homicide offense than murder. The key difference from murder is the absence of premeditation or the specific intent required for first degree, and the presence of mitigating circumstances or recklessness rather than intent. Intent is very important. How does this apply in the Holly Johnson case? Right? Here it goes. Holly Johnson is identified as the shooter, and Romeca is identified as the victim. All right. In this case, the states will have to prove that Holly KI'd Romeca without lawful justification, and that while performing the act, this is for first degree right here. First degree, that state would have to prove for first degree murder that Holly KI'd Romeca without lawful justifications, and that while performing the act which caused the death, she either intended to KI or do great bodily harm, or knew her acts would cause death or great bodily harm, or knew that her acts created a strong probability of death or great bodily harm, and was attempting or committing a forcible felony, and in the course of that felony, a death resulted. Okay, that's murder one. The prosecution must establish these elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, how this may apply: if Holly planned the killing or used a gun knowing it very likely would KI Romeca, or else was committing another forcible felony, like an example, a robbery or a sexual assault, and Romeca died as a result, then first degree murder would be appropriate. Now let's go to second degree. I'm gonna come back to that one, but let's go to second. The state must prove that Holly committed what would otherwise be first degree murder. That Holly committed what would otherwise be first degree murder, that is, killed another without lawful justification and under one of the intent, knowledge, felony, murder, prolongs, or at least the killing was intentionally knowing, causing the death or great bodily harm, but mitigating circumstances exist, such as Holly act under sudden and intense passion resulting from serious provocation by the victim, or Holly believed force was justified, self-defense, but that belief was unreasonable, that the mitigator reduces culpability such that second degree is appropriate rather than first. All right, so how this apply? If Holly KI'd Romeca, but there is evidence that Romeca provoked her in a way that caused intense passion, or Holly genuinely thought, unreasonably believed that she needed to use deadly force, the charge could be reduced to second degree murder, which is also murder too. Now let's go to the manslaughter. The state must prove for an involuntary manslaughter that Holly acts were reckless or criminally negligent and caused Romeca's death without intent to kill or knowing that death was probable. For voluntary manslaughter through Illinois, largely treat this under second degree murder, killing in the heat of passion or under unreasonable belief in justification, but without the deliberation or malice required for first degree. The key distinction: the lack of intent, knowledge, man of strong probabilities required for first degree, or the mitigating factors such for second degree. How this applies: if Holly did not intend to kill Romeca but act reckless, right? For an example, fired her weapon in a manner that showed disregard for life, and Romeca ended up passing away. Manslaughter may be what the prosecution pursues if this is the case. All right, now let's go over this, and then we're gonna go back up to first degree. So if she is charged with first degree, then minimum 20 years. That's a minimum for the state of Illinois, minimum 20 years, with many cases pushing toward decades or life in prison for extreme cases, okay? But minimum 20 years, no less than 20 years if she's charged with first degree. Second degree would be 4 to 20 years, all right? 4 years to 20 years. And manslaughter, well, manslaughter would be, it says up to 5 years. So up to 5 years if manslaughter. However, they said some have noted that 20 years, wait a minute, say for voluntary manslaughter of passion through the Illinois, this may collapse into second degree. Sources note that up to 20 years. Okay, so but anyway, manslaughter up to 5 years, unless this other type of situations going on or whatever, and then she can get up to 20 years. That's for manslaughter. Now, what this means for the Holly case, all right? Um, and applies to the Illinois law. If the prosecution can prove intent, knowledge, or a death in the commission of a felony, first degree murder, 20 years is possible, right? If the facts show mitigating circumstances, then second degree, 4 to 20 years. Unreasonable belief in self-defense, then 4 to 20 years. If the death resulted from reckless, negligent conduct without intent to kill, manslaughter may be up to 5 years, right? Now, hold on. Hold on. All right, hold on 1 second. All right. I don't even know if I want to go over this today, but y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want me to go over this one today. Because it gets deep. It gets deep. Let me know if you want me to go over this one, because I don't have to. She said, I got a question, Amoira. Do you think the videos on YouTube about Holly and her family criminal records will impact this case negatively? No, I don't. Now, I do think that her criminal record, not necessarily the videos on YouTube, but I do think that they will go down her criminal record. Yeah. And if she's ever like you know, committed a murder before or assaulted someone before, yeah, they will definitely look at that, just like they will with Romeca. They're gonna look at both of their background histories to see if they have violence in them. Are they lawbreakers? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about like, oh, break a law, like it has to be related, like not like, oh, you stole some candy from the candy store type thing. Like they're gonna look for assaults, they're gonna look for um murder and restraining orders and things of that nature, who's made threats before, who's that type of stuff. They're going to look at that type of stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. But will they go through YouTube videos? I mean, I think that they would do their research, right? But I don't think that they're going to literally just listen to me or another blogger put out some shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's the case. I think that they're going to do research and find the truth on their own and dissect it and comb through it and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I do think that they would definitely look at their backgrounds, and they don't really need videos on YouTube to see their backgrounds. They can go pull their backgrounds from the courts. You know what I mean? Sorry, I had to give me some water. They will also look at similar cases and those outcomes. Yeah, they will. Dust Mop, you're absolutely correct. They will look at similar cases and they will look at outcomes. Yes, they will. So, all right. So let me just go over this right quick. Let me read another comment and then I'll go over this. This is clear-cut self-defense. Roe got a history of this behavior. I admit in the beginning, Keys had made me confused with this narrative. It is clear-cut self-defense, in my opinion, as well. And I honestly do not think that, they will be able to beat this. Even if they charged her, she's not gonna be I don't think that she's going to be convicted, right? And the reason why I say that is because you got to understand reasonable doubt. If even one juror say that no, if they feel that she was justified, then they cannot find that's reasonable doubt. So they cannot find her guilty. They can't convict her, is what I'm saying. Romeca was threatening her own damn family, her own mom, twin sister, and daughter of a man Her cousin got off because she has a good lawyer for doing the same reckless mess over men as well. Wow. She said, y'all stuck on her killing Romeca by a gun when Holly would have probably died by wrong hit from Romeca. Holly was, I will say this, Holly was definitely justified to use her weapon that day. I will tell you that. And and even though I believe that on my own, but I got that from I got that from someone that does this shit in real life. You know what I mean? She was justified in using her weapon. She said, thank you so much and more. I'm learning the legal stuff tonight. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Tammy is in the house. This is Holly's aunt, y'all. Girl, they done drug your name out through the mud too, but girl, I know you don't care. I would call getting a restraining order premeditated. I'm getting it just in case I have to pew your ass, so call it premeditated all day. This was not, you can't say it was premeditated when Romeca drove over her. But anyway, let me break this down. She said, you can't have a CCL and have a criminal background. I don't know. I know somebody with a criminal background that has a weapon, but I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if they have it legally. Amoira was rolled at Holly House that's ringing the doorbell near Sharks that night. I don't think that was Holly House, but then again, I don't know. I don't know. I cannot verify whose house that was. Tammy, that's good to hear. Some people really want to make it bad for Holly. Yeah, no, I don't know what Tammy said, but they do want to make it bad for Holly. But I just don't think that they're gonna be able to. As much as they hate her, they want to see her something to happen bad to her. And I'm just telling you, I think people need to literally start just dimming it down a little bit. And the reason being is because their heart is going to be crushed either when they come back and say it was self-defense, or even if they take it to trial and go all the way through it and Holly will be set free. You know, I just don't think that they will be able to charge her with anything, to be honest with you, because she did everything she was supposed to do. And that's what people do not understand. How the judge gonna be able to say, Holly, you did not do everything that you were supposed to do. You did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, but you forgot to do whatever the last one is, T, U, W, X, Y, and Z, right? Or whatever, right? The last four alphabets. The judge is not going to be able to say you did not do everything within your power, because she did. And a lot of people say, well, why did she run and why did she get in the car and skeet off? Because she didn't have to. And that's what they don't understand. She did not have to. And then a lot of people say, oh, well, she made the TikTok video. That ain't got not shit to do with the price of tea in China, because you have to understand, if she never mentioned that girl's name in that post, they cannot say that that was directed at Romeca. And that's what people do not understand. That TikTok video would not hold no weight whatsoever. No whatsoever. As a content creator, you can say what the fuck you want to say on the internet, as long as you're not directly, you know, attacking someone else or whatever. And you can call people names all you want to and this, that, and the other, right? That's not harassment. Y'all know what? You know what harassment is? Harassment is when you inbox that person, when you email that person, when you call that person, when you text that person, right? That's harassment. Harassment is not going on your own channel and saying things. Even if you say something like, I can't stand that girl because she this, that, and that. That's not harassment. That's not harassment, right? So for people saying, oh, she said this on her social media, she said that, how does that tie to Romeca? Y'all remember, let me just tell you, I know some of y'all are new and some of y'all remember. Do y'all remember when a certain individual said she put my address in her GPS and she's about to drive over to my house and she's going to have somebody harm my husband and she's going to harm me? Well, I called the police. They came out to my house. And I was like, I want a report made just in case they come to my house and I have to do something to them. You know what they told me? They said, that is not a threat. Them saying they're going to do it and not saying I'm on my way to do it is not a threat. So you have to understand, even if Holly went on her platform and said, man, I'm going to pop somebody. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That is not a threat. If she doesn't say I'm on my way to pop Romeca, then that is not considered a threat, a viable legal threat. It's just talk. I found that out myself. It's just talk. I said, what? Somebody can literally say they just put my address in their GPS and they're gonna come to my house. The cop said, did they say they on your way? They on the way to your house? I said, no. But they said they coming by my house. They know where I live and everything. Well, until they say they on the way to your house, like right now, then that's not a threat. And then even if they did say they on the way to my house right now, the only thing the cops gonna do is just pull up at my house and wait for them. They're not gonna go to their house and get them. People say shit every day, right? And the girl and the person that said it didn't say my name, but everybody knew she was talking about me, right? So I mean, she said my little nickname that they call me, and she said some other things. Everybody knew she was talking about me, right? However, that is not a threat. So people that saying, oh, oh, it's premeditated because she made a Facebook status and this, that, and the other, that whole holds no weight. No weight whatsoever, unless she said, I want a KI Romeca Meeks, holds no weight. Holds no weight. None. You got to understand, y'all. This is America, and you're allowed to say certain things. Hell, Donald Trump then said some very threatening things that you would think that he would get punished for, right? Not just him, but other people as well, right? Even when they used to say, "Oh, I'm a file charges against you for doxing," right? They used to say that when I used to, put up a person's house, and they say, "Oh, you gonna get in trouble for doxing." Do you know all the politicians then got doxed? The guy that released Nancy Pelosi's address, right? The guy that actually put it online, he didn't get in trouble. But the guy that showed up to the house, broke in and harmed Nancy Pelosi's husband, they the one got in trouble. But the one that released the address didn't get in trouble. Why? Because it's public information. It is public information. Most of your addresses are public, you know? But people talk things that they just don't know. They're not aware of. They haven't done the research. They haven't asked the right questions. They just have not looked into it, you know? So you can't hold what somebody say online. I'm coming, I'm a go to that B house, and and I'm gonna do this to her, and I'm gonna have my nephew beat up her husband. They could say they was talking about Santa Claus and Mama Claus. Even though I knew they was talking about me, right? Right? But that's not a crime. That is not a crime. That is absolutely not a crime. But anyway, let me go over this right quick. So, this is the facts that we have right now. I have another thing. So, the let me go back for a second, because this is important. This is very important. Let's go back. The witness started her statement here. Let's see what a witness started her statement, you guys.
I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning, and I was like, "This is not right." He was slapping her.
Why is it so low?
She was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female on the other side.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back.
I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning, and I was.
So you heard that? I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning. Why am I even mentioning that? Is this low or is it me? Hold on, y'all. Why is my computer low? Is my volume low or is it just me, you guys? Hold on. Let me turn this off and turn it back on. Give me a second. Let me just find out why is it so low. It might just be me. She said, recording as well? Or is it low? She said it's low, but we can hear. Okay, hold on. Trying to figure out why is it low. Did I do something? Let me see. Let me see something. Let me check this volume right quick. Audio. It seems so low. She said, you're loud, but it's low when you play the thing. Why is it low? It wasn't low. What, has it always been low all night? Anyway, why is it low? Let me see something. Let me play it from here.
In the beginning, and I was like, "This is not right." He was slamming her with the door.
Hold on.
I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning, and I was like, "This is not right." He was slamming her with a door when she was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female.
Okay. I wanted you to hear that because she says, I started it. I mean, I saw them when they were fighting from the beginning, right? Now, when she says, I saw them when they was fighting from the beginning, do you know what she didn't see? And this is very important, and nobody is thinking about this. She didn't see when Romeca pulled up, right? So the fact that she didn't see when Romeca pulled up, she cannot testify to the courts that Romeca or Holly started the fight, which means guess who they're going to have to rely on to say who was the aggressor? They're going to look at Holly's statement and Carlos' statement. They're going to see, is there any inconsistencies? If both of their statements line up with each other, then whatever they told them on how the shit got started is what they are going to go with. If there is no witness that saw Romeca drive up, which we have not heard of one yet, right? If there is no witness, because listen, they have to find out who was the aggressor. Holly and Carlos was already parked. Not there. They were parked. They were on the outside of their vehicles when Romeca drove up. So as long as their stories line up, she drove up, we were, whatever they say they were doing. It don't even matter what they say they were doing. And another thing, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be a lot of Romeca fans that's not going to like, or not Romeca fans, but Romeca supporters that's not going to like what I'm about to say. But let's just say there was no fight. And I'm being hypothetically right now. Let's say there was no fight. If Holly and Carlos both say Romeca got out of the car and pulled up to Holly and started fighting her, guess what? She don't have to have a mark on her whatsoever. They will believe that that's what happened. If there's no camera footage, if there's no eyewitness that can say they saw Holly pull up and do whatever, they are going to take both of their stories into account, which means they're going to say only portions of if the witness testify, only portions of the witness statement is credible because they have to find out who was the aggressor. And if both of their stories line up and say Romeca jumped out of the car and started fighting Holly, she's the aggressor for even pulling up. But furthermore, if Holly was attacked, and another thing, if Holly was attacked from the back, meaning that Holly back was facing toward Romeca. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm just saying if they say that and there is no way to dispute it, if they say Holly was attacked from the back, then there is a thing, and I looked it up, and it is called, let me tell you what it's called. It's called something. Let me tell you what it's called. Let me put it back in here again. What is it called when you're attacked from the back? Hold on. It's a legal term. What is it called when you... They call it something, and it means something like it. Hold on. No, you told me something last night. It's called something. The legal document is... blind something. Hold on, let me see what they told me last night. Give me a second. Hold on. What was it called? Attack from the back. Hold on. I wanna get the right word. Surprise assault. That's what it's called. It's called a surprise assault, okay? Which is a felony, all right? Which justifies under the Illinois law, it justifies intimate threat, which justifies defensive force. So if it was a surprise assault, if she was already attacked once physically, if she was already attacked once, she had every right to grab her weapon just in case there was going to be another attack. Now, I heard another content creator say if she was attacked or something like that, and then the threat was no longer there, then if Holly fired upon her, then it wouldn't be justified. But if she was already attacked and then she advanced toward her the second time, baby, you can cancel Christmas, Easter, Valentine's, and all of those. Because that just means that is further proof that she was in fear of another attack. All right. So all I'm saying is the witness does not account for Holly. Excuse me. Damn it. The witness does not account for seeing Romeca pull up, which means that she cannot say how it initially started. She cannot. So unless they have video footage or they have Holly and Carlos' statement lining up, it has to be no inconsistencies. Holly can't say she pulled up and just start cussing me out and stayed at her car. And Carlos say, no, she pulled out and ran toward Holly. Like both of their statements have to be on point. That's why they interview them at different times, and they're going to interview them multiple times to make sure they don't twist up their statement. So if both of them say she got out the vehicle and ran up and attacked Holly, baby, y'all can cancel Christmas, Valentine's, Easter, and whatever holiday that's coming up because the witness was not there. Neither witness was there when Romeca pulled up. All right? When Romeca pulled up. Okay? So again, yeah, I looked that up. So a surprise attack justifies imminent danger, and it also justifies self-defense. She can go guard herself with her weapon. Shit, if you attach me from behind, I don't know what the fuck you gonna do to me. And then my boyfriend, baby daddy, sex partner, whatever you want to call him, he trying to hold your ass back and you talking shit and you wiggling away from him, baby. Oh my goodness, baby, child. Child, listen, blind assault. Yeah, so they got different names. Surprise attack, blind assault, ambushed, sudden surprise assault. So When you attack somebody from behind and if they do you, honey, they have every right. Okay. And even if she was restrained, but if she break away again, you don't know what force she about to come with the second time. You don't know what's about to happen. Okay. And for the people, I got another one. For the people that saying that she should have retreated to her car. Hold on, I got that. She should have locked herself in the car. Give me a second. For the people that says that she should have locked herself in the car. Let me pull that one up. So one thing about me, I put in every type of scenario because I don't want to just make it seem one-sided. Let's talk about it. All right, hold on. Because I was playing devil's advocate, baby. Sure was. Wait a minute. Let me see. What did I do? Okay, this is what I wrote. Let me tell you what I wrote. Because a lot of people put things in Chat GPT and they don't tell you what they wrote to get the answer that they got, right? I'm going to do that so you guys will know because when you're doing AI, AI Google or whatever, like any of them, Chat GPT, Genesis or whatever, depending on what you put in, it will spit out things that's possibly in your favor unless you literally ask it to give you both sides, right? And that's what I've done because I don't want to seem like I'm just leaning toward a self-defense for Holly without looking at all the factors, okay? So hold on one second. Okay, on this one right here, I said, I'm not saying that this is what happened. I'm not saying that Holly advanced toward her. I'm not saying that Holly did advance toward Romeca. I'm asking the shot to the thigh and the shot to the face. Could it be possible? I'm just trying to look at it from the other side. Could it be possible for those shots to land in the same area if Holly advanced toward Romeca versus Romeca advancing toward Holly? I'm just playing devil's advocate, okay? Now, why did I do that? Because I want to know. Because I want to know. I want to know if it is the other way around, like people be trying to make it sound like, oh, this happened, this happened. I said, okay, so this is what I want to know. I'm playing devil's advocate. I want to know if Holly advanced toward her, then what is the outcome? All right, so this one, it says, could a thigh and chin shot happen if Holly was advancing toward Romeca? It says, yes, it is possible under some physical conditions, but it would deeply depend heavily on the distance, the trajectory, and the stance. But let's look at both sides shots. Let's look at both shots individually. Thigh shot first. For a thigh wound to occur, if Holly advanced toward Romeca, the shot could have been aimed lower or fired while moving, especially if Holly fired under adrenaline or panic. It might indicate close proximity and could still be frontal if Romeca faced her or angled downward. If Holly was standing close or above Romeca, meaning taller. So yes, Holly could have been the one moving forward and the bullet could have still hit the thigh depending on her height versus Romeca's height, their relative distance, and whether Romeca was stationary or slightly backing away. But in other words, the thigh shot doesn't automatically prove who is advancing. It only proves where the bullet entered and exit. Now, the chin shot. This one tells a bit more about proximity and angle. A shot to the chin generally means the shooter and the victims were facing each other, and the bullet entered at a straight or upward trajectory. If Holly was advancing, that chin shot could happen if she was close and firing upward. Says Say if she's shorter than Romeca or firing from a slightly lower position, like from a crouch or step back. If the trajectory was downward, that would suggest Holly was standing over or moving toward Romeca, not backing away. So the direction of entry matters more than the location. All right. What forensics would examine? If investigators were trying to determine who advanced toward who, they'll analyze the trajectory. Was the bullet traveling upward, downward, or straight? Powder burns and snifflings. What was the range? Were they within 3 feet? They were near each other, right? They would look at blood splatter and castings, where each woman was standing when the shots were fired. And then they would look at the angle of impact. Downward shots suggest shooter advanced forward, or straight shots suggest mutual proximity. So, yes, it is physically possible for those wounds to the thigh and the chin to occur, even if Holly was advancing toward Romeca, but it will likely show a different trajectory than if she was backing up or stationary. All right. So it said, so Romeca advancing toward Holly. It says, so scenario, Romeca advancing toward Holly. This is me playing devil's advocate. Romeca advancing toward Holly. Could the wounds occur this way? Yes. Forensic indicator, frontward wound, straight trajectory, close range residue. Holly advancing toward Romeca, possible. Downward trajectory, little to no residue. If further away or shot fired while moving. Both move toward each other, very possible. Mid-range distance, both frontal wounds. All right. So then I said, if Holly was heard yelling, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch," and then go to her car, retrieve her weapon, does that show Holly as the aggressor? Again, I'm playing devil's advocate. Let's just say Romeca was trying to get to Holly, but her boyfriend Carlos was holding her back. But she wiggled away from her boyfriend. Oh, I said boyfriend, but y'all know I'm talking about Carlos. And was saying things to Holly and advancing toward. And Holly said, "I'm going to shoot you, bitch," and reached in her car and grabbed her weapon. And Holly advanced toward her and shot. It says, well, maybe. It depends. Saying, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch," and then grabbing a gun and shooting can make Holly look like the aggressor, but context matters a lot. Under the Illinois law, that act doesn't automatically destroys a self-defense claim. Let's break it down step by step. All right. The basic legal rule you need to know: Illinois allows the use of force, including deadly force, when a person reasonably believes it is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. You generally cannot claim self defense if you were the initial aggressor or if you intentionally provoked the other person to use force. Courts and prosecutors look to who started or escalated the confrontation. Verbal threats can themselves be criminal and can be seen as provocation, but a mere threat does not always remove the right to defend yourself in a real immediate danger follows, right? So let's go into it. It says, hypothetically, give me a second. It says prosecutors and jury analyze the scene. They'll look at who did what first and then how each reacted in the split second before the shots were fired. Did Holly provoke and start the escalation from the beginning? All right. Yelling, "I'm going to shoot you," and then going to fetch a gun is exactly the kind of conduct some prosecutors would describe as provocation or making oneself the initial aggressors. That weakens a self-defense story because it looks like Holly created dangerous situation. Did Romeca still present an intimate threat after Holly threat? If after Holly words, Romeca immediately lunged, raised a weapon, or moved aggressively toward Holly, then Holly could still reasonably claim she believed deadly force was necessary at that moment. Remember, self-defense turns on a reasonable belief of imminent harm, not on prior words alone. All right. And it says, what else changed the calculus? Blocking the car. So prior to the threat, the protective order history, a baby in the vehicle, or Romeca physically escaping Carlos and closing distance. Any of those make Holly fear more believable. Controversially, if Romeca was being held back, unarmed, or trying to retreat, and Holly approached her and shot her, that pushes it toward unjustified force. So as long as the car was blocked in, prior threats was made, protection order was in place, a baby was in the vehicle, uh, Romeca broke through the restraints, then Holly's justifiable defense case is more believable. So there's different scenarios. You can't just put one thing and highlight it, right? You have to look at all of it. You have to look at everything, right? Her car was blocked in. Romeca pulled up on her, violated a restraining order. Her baby was in the car. It's been said that they fought. Now, the 911 caller is the one that said that they fought, right? It's said that they fought. And if if Holly and Carlos verify that, then it's going to be put down that they fought. So the fight, the blocking in, the violation of a restraining order, a stalking restraining order at that, a stalking restraining order at that, no contact order at that, and her baby in the car, and she ended up very close to Holly's vehicle versus her own. They're going to put all that and then they're going to say it was absolutely justified. Absolutely justified. So the self-defense claim, I'm saying. So her yelling, I'm going to shoot you, bitch, does not mean that she's going, it looks premeditated or anything like that. All right. Now, I said, what was this one right here? It says Romeca violated a stalking no contact order. It means she was legally prohibited from approaching, contacting, or physically confronting Holly. It says, and by pulling up, approaching, and starting a fight, she broke a court order, which makes her the initial aggressor in the eyes of the law. So even before the first punch or shot, Romeca was already committing a crime. So Romeca was committing a crime. She said her car isn't blocked though. Oh, yes, it is. It's blocked. Oh, yeah. Let me say, I said about that too, because I actually uploaded the picture. I uploaded the picture and I said, is it blocked? So it says, if it says if Holly would have gotten in the car. Hold on, let me just read it straight. Let me get to that. I did say something about the car being blocked. If she couldn't get away safely, even if going into traffic would have been dangerous, because if I'm not mistaken, I think they said something about this street was ongoing traffic or whatever. And if she would have fled into ongoing traffic and putting her baby in some type of harm or jeopardy or whatever, then that still means that it was she was not, it still means that she was blocked. Okay. Even if she would have got out with just a little scrape on her vehicle or whatever, it still means that she was blocked in. But hold on, let me get to that part. Because I put that in there too. Hold on one second, because I know I put that in there. I uploaded the picture. But she had no duty to retreat anyway. Where did I put about the blocked car? It said the presence of the baby. Illinois case law weighs heavily when a child is present. If Holly infant was in the car or in the arms while Romeca attacked the imminent danger. Okay, it wasn't in the car. But anyway, it says the law expects a mother to run. A law doesn't expect the mother to run or leave her baby, so retreat wasn't a realistic option. But I said something about the blocking of the car. Hold on. What did I do that at? Did I do it on this one? Let me see. I know I said something about the blocking of the car. I just want to see what did I say. Hold on. Okay, so I uploaded a picture and I said, does it look like the car was blocked? Now, the picture that I used was the one with the arrows. I used the one with the arrows. But anyway, I said, does it look like the car was blocked? And then it says the layout with the emergency vehicle, because it had emergency vehicle in there. It says with the emergency vehicle, she had no way. And I said, remove the emergency vehicle. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do this one because this is the one that y'all see right now. I'm gonna do this one because the emergency vehicle was in the way on the other one. So let me do this one right here. I'm going to ask, did she have a route to escape? I did tell them to move the emergency vehicle, but I'm gonna do it on this one. Let's just be fair all the way around. Holly could have. All right, hold on, y'all. I said, from this view, does it look like Holly could have jumped in her car and drove off, or does it look like she was blocked in? It says, from this angle, it looks like Holly's car, the dark one on the right, was parked along the curb with another vehicle directly in front of her, and at least one more parked close behind, meaning she is in a tight parallel parking space. Even without the police van that later appeared at the scene, she doesn't seem to be enough open roadway in front of her to pull out quickly. The white car, which is Romeca's car, is angled more toward the center of the street, blocking part of Holly's forward path. Cars are lined up closely on the curb side, so backing up would have been very limited. To pull out left, she has to steer into the lane while the white car is sitting essentially toward the person she was reportedly in conflict with. So looking strictly at this image, she was not boxed in by emergency vehicle yet, but she was tightly parked and partially blocked by the white car, making a quick, safe escape difficult, especially if someone was standing or moving near the front of her vehicle. So in short, it does not look like she had an easy or safe way to jump in and drive off at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna say people are saying Holly should have retreated and left in her car while Carlos was holding her or restraining her. Let me just say restraining. All right. It says that's one of the most common misconceptions being debated, and it's actually a great question to analyze. It says, let's break it down. What the law actually says, Illinois 720 ILCS 5-7-1. Illinois law does not require a person to retreat before using force if they are somewhere they have a legal right to be, like their home, their workplace, or their car. You are allowed to stand your ground in Illinois as long as you are not the aggressor and you reasonably believe that deadly force is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. So this question isn't could she have left? The question is would a reasonable person in her shoes believe that leaving was a safe or realistic option at the moment? What the scene shows from your photo. From the photo you provided, Holly's black car was parked on the curve, boxed in tightly between other parked cars. Romeca white car was angled outwards toward the street, partially blocking Holly's forward exit. If Carlos was restraining Romeca near or in front of that white car, that means Holly wouldn't had to get into her driver's seat, start the car, steer toward the conflict, and somehow drive away with the baby in the back seat. Even without shots being fired, that's not a quick or safe retreat route, especially with the aggressor right there in front of her. Timing. When Carlos was holding her, according to the witness, Carlos grabbed her by her waist and then around her neck. She was trying to wiggle out. When she got loose, Holly shot. That tells us that the timelines was seconds, not minutes. There's no indication that Carlos had her pinned long enough for Holly to walk calmly to her car, get inside, strap in, strap up, and drive off. If Romeca broke free immediately after the danger reignited, a few seconds of someone being held doesn't equal a clear opportunity to escape. Now, y'all already know what I'm about to ask. Okay? I'm going to say, but people said she went. No, I'm going to say the witness. But the witness said she went to the passenger side of her vehicle and retrieved her weapon. Could she have got in her car and locked the door and called the police? All right, let's go. All right, it said that is a very sharp and fair question. And honestly, it is the exact kind of point the prosecutors, defense attorneys, and juries would have to wrestle with. Let's unpack it. What the witness actually said. The witness statement include that's when Holly ran to her car. She went to the passenger side, reached in, and came back around with her gun. So, according to that version, she ran to the passenger side, not the driver's seat, reached inside, retrieved her weapon, and came right back out. That means she did not enter the car. She stayed outside in the opening. The witness does not describe her having time to open the driver's door, sit down, close it, start the car, or lock it. The time window, the action, running to the passenger side, reaching in and turning back is a 2 to 3 second movement. If Romeca had just broken free from Carlos and was still only a few feet away, Holly's opportunity to lock herself inside would have been seconds at best. Even a short delay, fumble with the door, turning, locking, calling 911 could have allowed Romeca to reach her again, especially since she had already been attacked from behind per Holly and Carlos' statement. So, yes, in theory, she could have tried to jump in and lock the door, but in practice, she likely didn't have enough time or safe distance to do so before another confrontation. All right. So, fight or flight in real time. People don't think in tidy steps during violent encounters. After a sudden assault, adrenaline dumps into the system, vision narrows, tunnel vision, fine motor tasks like fumbling with keys or phone screens become difficult. Okay. In those conditions, grabbing what feels like immediate protection, her firearm often seems faster and safer than trying to climb into a confined space where she could be cornered again. All right. And then it says right here, hold on. All right. And it says, hold on. Give me a second. And it says the baby in the back seat changed the dynamic. At that time, Holly's 6-month-old infant was strapped in the back seat. The car was parked along the curb, hemmed in by other vehicles. Romeca had just assaulted her, was violating a restraining order, and was breaking free. So Holly was just thinking about her own. So Holly wasn't just thinking about her own safety. She had to think, if she gets in the car, she could hurt my baby. That matters legally because Illinois recognizes defense of others, especially children, under the same self-defense statute. A person may use deadly force if they reasonably believe it is necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm to themselves or another person. Why getting in a car was not a safe option. People saying she could have jumped in her car and locked the door and imagine a calm environment, right? But in reality, she would have had to turn her back on the aggressor. Why does this matter? It's dangerous. It gives the attacker a chance to grab her before the door closes. Baby was in the back seat. She could not drive off recklessly or reverse suddenly without endangering the child. Front exit block, the white car Romeca's and other vehicles limited her ability to pull forward. Adrenaline and panic. After being attacked, she is in fight or flight mode. Fine motor actions like unlocking, locking, and calling 911 would become difficult. So even though getting inside sounds like a safe plan in hindsight, it is not necessarily the safest or realistic when seconds count and a baby life is also at risk. So legally, reasonable belief with a child present, a jury evaluating this scene would consider, did Holly reasonably believe she or her baby faced imminent harm? Did she act impulsively but reasonably given that fear? The baby presence makes her fear more credible. More juries, especially parents, instinctively understand that protecting a child is immediate and criminal. How both sides will argue this. The prosecution will say Carlos had Romeca restrained. Holly had time to get in her car, lock her door, and call the police. Choosing to grab a gun instead shows that she escalated it. Defense would say seconds earlier she was attacked from behind. Romeca was breaking free and advancing toward her yet again. Her infant was strapped in the back seat. She could not safely retreat, and she had a blocked car. She had a blocked car, I'm sorry. She reasonably believed deadly force was the only way to protect herself and her child. So, bottom line, in theory, yes, she could have tried to get in her car and lock the door, but in real time, panic context with a baby inside, an attacker breaking free, or no clear to retreat, locking herself in was not a safe or reliable option. Under Illinois law, a parent does not have to gamble on whether an attacker will reach the car before she can drive off. Her duty in that moment was to protect herself and her baby from immediate harm. And retrieving the firearm could be seen as a reasonable defensive response, not an unnecessary escalation. So, baby, y'all better stop playing. Y'all better stop playing. Now, y'all know these defense attorneys is going to tear this shit up. And I'm not even an attorney, and I could prove Holly innocence in court, y'all. You hear me? I am not even attorney, but I will prove Holly's innocent in court. I'm telling y'all. This is going to be a self-defense case. Now, for those that just don't believe me, just sit back and watch. And if it's not, come tell me that I was wrong. And I would say, y'all, I was wrong. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a self-defense case. She had a child. I'm telling you, it's so many scenarios that is going to set her free. Her child was there. She should have ran down the road. She should have skied it off. She should have sped off. She should have sat in the car and down 911. Her child was there. She had a restraining order. She didn't have to do none of that. She would get charged with something. She is gonna get charged with something. You want to know what she's gonna be charged with? She's gonna be charged and deemed a hero for protecting her child. Well, it ain't gonna be a charge, but she's gonna be deemed a hero for protecting her child. She will not get charged for this. She will not get charged for this. Unfortunately, I know you guys probably wish she will, but it's not gonna happen. When they see that she was provoking, it will be a charge with something. She wasn't provoking. You can't. Anyway, I'm not even going to answer those type of questions. She said, and to be honest, women juries will have a bitter taste in their mouth about Romeca knowing that she attacked Holly with an infant. I'm telling y'all going to be so disappointed. But for those, when it comes down, I want y'all to, when she is found self-defense, I want y'all to come back on and say, Amoira, God damn, you know your shit. I sure do. I sure do. Your girl ain't no dummy, baby. You better stop playing with me. She said, put up the picture with the blood on the ground and the paramedics treating Roe, and you can see that Holly had plenty of space to move. This one right here? This one right here is you talking about? How does this show that she had plenty of space to move? Where? Show me. But y'all don't understand she has no duty to, that's what y'all not understanding. She has no duty to drive off. She did not have to do that. She was the protected one. She was where she was supposed to be. She didn't have to run. And I think that's what y'all are not getting at. She didn't have to run. Even if Holly Carr wasn't there, she did not have to retreat. She was there legally. Romeca was there illegally. But I don't think that she had a duty to retreat. She's parallel park. And what people don't understand, when you parallel park, you just don't slide out. When have you ever known when you parallel park to just slide out? You don't do that. You got to back up a little bit. You got to turn your steering wheel. You got to come back up a little bit more, turn your steering wheel, back up a little bit more. You don't just pop out when you are parallel park. Somebody's in front of you, somebody behind you. That's not how you do things. Come on, y'all. You know when you parallel park, you just don't come out no parking spot just like that. When have you ever been parallel parked and you ain't have to adjust that shit? You know what I mean? So she was parked. Romeca was not parked. She just pulled up and jumped out. But I'm not about to do no 4 hours tonight, y'all. The Holly trying to run would have amped up Romeca's rage. And yeah, now you want her to, let's just say if she would have ran and Romeca, and this is just hypothetically, right? And Romeca got in the car and started chasing her. Do you really think that's a safe option with her child in the back seat? Do you really think that's a safe option to be chased now with someone that's in the back seat and her child is in the back seat? No, that put her child in danger. Speeding off would have put her child in danger. And that's ongoing traffic. Traffic is still going. That puts her child in a, and let me pull this up right quick. Let me show y'all this. Let me show you just how close they were to the turning of the on the curve. Let's pull up the crime scene right quick. This is how close the cars were. If cars was coming, let me pull up this video. They were pretty close to that curve. Look at this, you guys. Let me do it slowly. All right, you see. Now you see that red vehicle right here? In between the red vehicle is where they were parked. Right? That's the murder scene. Okay? Right there, right in between the red vehicle. Right, it's coming right there. So now we talking, look how close they were to this turn right here. That's an intersection right there. Cars are, they can turn right or they can keep straight, right? Let's go back a little bit. Right at the intersection. They was right there. So you wanted Holly, even though she was parked right there, to just shoot out and take off. Incoming traffic, all of that. And she probably wouldn't have got far because I'm pretty sure it was pretty busy that day. It was near a school area, right? But that's where they were parked. They real close to the intersection. Real close. Look at that. Real close. Let me just play the video so y'all can see it for yourself. But anyway, she don't have to take off running down no damn street. She don't have to take off running down the street or whatever. She said not the murder scene. Yeah, I shouldn't say the murder scene because it wasn't a murder. You right, Dust Mop. It's not a murder scene because it was not a murder. Self-defense is not murder. Self-defense is not murder. You are right. So she did not have to, she said it's not realistic to expect a parallel parked car with cars on three sides to flee. Exactly, Nelly. It is definitely not realistic at all. At all. It is not realistic at all, y'all. Nobody parallel park that I know of, and I'm a horrible parallel parker. Shit, it take me forever to get out of. I can't stand parallel parking. I will walk extra. She said they'll find never ever videos in Holly's phone. Notice Romeca family never said Holly harassed them. Romeca definitely harassed us. See, I believe you too, girl. I think you mean they would never find a video of Holly harassing Romeca, is what you're saying, right? I agree. I believe you. You know, in my opinion, the people that make threats are a different breed. Some of us value our safety and our freedom. Some people don't. She said, to be fair, why didn't Romeca walk away? Let's ask one of Romeca supporters that, honey. They wouldn't be able to tell you. They'd be like, they won't be able to tell you why Romeca didn't walk away. Because they believe in their eyes that Romeca owns Chicago and Romeca can make threats and call people grandmama and say, I'm gonna kill you and pull up and do all this violent shit and get away with it. That's what they believe, sweetheart. They just really believe that because she likes the color pink, that she had, and look at this ongoing traffic right here. Look at that. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what it was that night, but look what she could have possibly ran into. But they just believe that because she loves the color pink and she was a pretty girl, that she had every right to make threats and pull up on people and do all that shit. And Holly should have just ran and for her life and, shut the fuck up and did nothing. That's what they think. You know? She said that's such a pretty scene. It is a pretty scene. It really is. I mean, I hate that shit happened, went down like this, but Romeca supporters should remember everything Holly was supposed to have done if they ever faced with that situation. It's still that listen, exactly, still golden. She said not at the school. Exactly. It was not at the school. Do y'all see? And I don't even really want to argue that because, we've already beat that with a dead horse. The people that really think that it was on school grounds, well, I think most people believe now that it wasn't. She said, look at the crime scene. Romeca car was literally taking up a whole lane on BS. Exactly. It really was. I also don't think Romeca made a turn. I'm sure she was turning left from state. I don't know what that means, Nelly. Are you trying to say that she didn't come toward them? She just so happened to see them. What are you saying? She said, Amoira, no matter how many ways you show Romeca friends and supporters that she was wrong, they would defend her. You don't want no friends or supporters like them. She needed real friends. Exactly. I don't want no friends like them. I do not want friends like that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not. And I just think as far as a content creator, we owe transparency to our supporters. And that's, I hope that I am providing you guys that transparency. We owe that to our supporters. And I just think that the far-fetched lies is absolutely unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? And, what are they going to say when they come back and say it was self-defense? Are they then gonna get mad and try to come after her, and harm her because they didn't get their way legally? And then another thing, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they said, but I want y'all to see this. Hold on. Both statements was given at the time of Romeca's arrest, right? Both statements, it says in the order that both statements was given. Let me see if I can pull that up right quick. Let me see. Which means that they still did not find probable cause to lock her up after 2 witness statements. And she was never charged with anything. People want to say that Romeca was charged. I don't know how many times I can say that she wasn't, but let me see if I can bring this up. I want to see. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, my eyes are not the best. I'm going to put this up on the screen, but like I said, my eyes are not the best. So, with that being said, I needed a little assistance. So, I asked ChatGPT to tell me what that said, right? And let me tell you what it said. Let me go back to ChatGPT because they can zoom in, girl. I'm 53 years old. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let me just do it again because I don't know where I put it. I'll be typing so much. Okay. I said, can you tell me what this says? And it says, sure. All right. Now, it says, I'm not going to go over the preliminaries about the names and all that shit. But this is the original case incident report. This is the one that says first degree. And that's why you hear some people say that she was charged with a first degree murder. That's not a charge. It's just an incident report, right? So, but it says, hold on, let me get to the part where it actually says, let me read it. It says this is a BWC, which is a body worn camera recorded event. In summary, responding officer, which is a RO, were dispatched to an initial call of a battery in progress. Okay, that's mean a fight, an assault, physical assault, and an additional call from a third party of shots fired near Cermak and State Street, in which a caller heard 3 to 4 gunshots. Upon arrival, responding officers observed a female unresponsive on the ground who appeared to have multiple gunshot wounds about the body. Responding officers immediately began rendering aid by requesting EMS via OEMC Zone 4 radio. Responding officers placed the victim on her side due to a pool of blood gathering on her mouth until the EMS arrived. While on the scene, multiple witnesses, including redacted name, provided a statement to the AOs, which is, I don't know what an AO is. Something, arriving officer, I don't know. Assisting officer, maybe, I don't know. But then it continues. Due to the offender being on the scene, AOs detained Johnson Khadijah at 9:32 hours. Upon detaining the arrestee, she related not verbal to the AOs that she was a concealed carrier holder and she had an order of protection. Arrestee related the statement out of excited utterance and memoranda. When the AOs inquired about the location of the firearm used via on the scenes, questioning, arrestee, which is Holly, related that it was located on the passenger side floorboard of her black Chevrolet bearing Illinois plates number, and they redacted it. Beat 1831 recovered the firearm from the passenger's side floorboard. All right. So, in summary, the police arrived within 6 minutes of the shooting call, found Romeca Blackman unresponsive with multiple gunshot wounds. Holly Johnson, listed as Kadasia Johnson, was on the scene and detained. She told police she was a legal concealed carry holder and had an active order of protection. She voluntarily told officers where the firearm was before being read her Miranda rights. Firearm was recovered from the passenger side floorboard of her black Chevy. Incidents marked as domestic related and classified as first degree murder under the IUCR 0110. So that is why people said she was charged with first degree when she was not. It only means that she was being investigated under a first degree murder charge. But it says that the reason why they found no probable cause, even after reading two witnesses' statements, one, because they was inconsistent with each other, they contradict each other, the statements, and then two, because she had a restraining order and also a legally concealed carrier in the state of Illinois. With that being said, they did not have enough incidents. Oh, arresting officer. Okay, thank you. Arresting officers AO. Thank y'all. They did not have enough to say it was a crime or self-defense. So I asked, so why didn't they? Like, what do they need to say that it was one or the other, right? They said they have to verify that her restraining order was active and in effect, right? That her concealed weapon license was active and legal, that she was where she was supposed to be, and that Romeca was not where she was supposed to be, right? So they had to verify that information. And then again, the two witness statements that they took at the scene were not consistent with each other. They said different things, and neither one of them indicated that they were there when Romeca pulled up. So they don't know what initially took place. They only said what they saw from when they saw it, at the time they saw it. So they could not identify the aggressor. So with that being said, that means detectives have to do more homework to find out who was the aggressor. All right. So they can't hold her. They cannot hold her. But let me tell you what else is going to happen. It may go to grand jury if it has not already been to grand jury. I do not believe Chicago PD is going to take this amongst themselves because it's high profile at this moment, right? They're not going to do the work themselves. They don't want that on their hands. They don't want people saying that they was biased or whatever the case may be. They're going to take this to the grand jury, right? And the grand jury consists of about 23 to 24 civilians. They're going to give them the witness statements. They're going to give them the ballistic report. They're going to give them the autopsy reports, and they're going to give them the detective analysis, right? And then they're going to say, look and see if there's any probable cause or any without what is it called, with no reasonable doubt that we can win this case, because the prosecution do not want to take on a case if they can't win. So they're going to look at it, not even win the case. Let me take that back. They're going to say, should she be charged? Should she be charged, right? And the grand jury will have to vote, and it only takes 12 out of the 23, 24 individuals to say, yes, I do believe that a charge needs to happen or whatever. Let me get the legal words from it right quick. Let me get the legal words about the grand jury. Hold on one second. All right, I said if the case is taken to grand jury, what do they have to prove for the case to be moved forward? It said, okay, so they don't decide guilty or innocence. They only decide if there is probable cause for it to be considered a crime. Okay, what she did is a crime. All right. So the grand jury has to look at the testimonies from the investigators, the witness, right? And then which is often summarized is not a direct cross-examining, which would mean they just gonna get the paperwork basically. They have to look at the physical evidence like the autopsy results, the ballistic report, and any video surveillance, if any, if they have it, right? Then they have to pull out the Illinois legal context, such as self-defense laws and claims, right? And then the grand jury can ask questions, but the defense does not get to argue or present evidence at this stage. All right. So they have to review all of the evidence that the prosecutor would be using to incriminate Holly or try to incriminate Holly. They would look at everything and then they have to come back and say, yes, true bill, which is an indictment. We do find proper cause in this case to move this case to a trial, or no indictment, no bill. They don't see enough evidence. The case stops there through the prosecutor, though the prosecutor can refile later with new evidence if they receive new evidence, right? So if the case is presented to the grand jury, then the grand jury must believe there's proper cause. She was unlawfully caused Romeca death, or it was self-defense. Clear evidence is clear that it was self-defense. They may decide not to indict because it appears justified under Illinois self-defense law 720 ILCS 5/7-1. All right. And if there's strong evidence that Holly was attacked first, had a restraining order, or was defending her baby, that could heavily influence whether the grand jury decides to indict or not. Okay. Now, I say consists of 23 people. Let me see how many people on the grand jury? Let me see. I know it take 12 to how many people on the grand jury? I think 23, but let me just verify. Okay, anywhere from 16 to 23. So, but only 12 needs to agree in order. Wait a minute, hold on. How many? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I said 23. Where I get 23 from? In Illinois, it's only 16 civilians. 16 civilians. And out of those 16, 12 must vote yes to indict. 12 must vote yes. Now, the grand jury takes about a month. Okay. The proceedings are secret. Neither the public nor the defense is allowed inside. The state attorney, which is the prosecutor, runs the session and presents all the evidence. The defendant, like Holly and her attorney, are not present unless she's invited to testify, which rarely happens. All right. So I don't know if it went to the grand jury. We wouldn't know that unless the family knew. Actually, I don't even know how the family would know. I don't know if anybody knows besides the prosecutor, right? But it takes about a month and they would come back with an indictment or self-defense. Or self-defense. She said, do they pick grand jury like they do for regular juries? So yes, but no. It's more strenuous because that's it's let me just see. How do they pick the grand jury? It's more strenuous than regular. But anyway, um, it says okay, hold on. It says they are chosen from the same pool of local citizens who get summons for jury duty. The names usually come from voter registration lists, driver's license record, or state ID records. The selection is random. No one volunteers. When potentially, excuse me, when potential grand juries report for duty, the judge asks questions to make sure they can serve fairly and have no conflict of interest. All right. So it says they are sworn in. Then they serve for a set term of 30 days, sometime longer in larger counties like Cook County. During that time, they may hear multiple cases, not just one, but they ask them questions. People who have strong bias, criminal conflict, or major hardships can be excused. The goal is to seat 16 impartial jurors who can evaluate evidence fairly. All right. It says they are randomly picked citizens, not lawyer or officials. The judge screens them for fairness. They take an oath of secrecy and impartiality, and they review the case in private and decide whether there's proper cause to charge someone. Are they from the same area or all over? I think the same area. If it's from voter registrations. They are local citizens drawn from the same county where the alleged crime took place. If the incident happened in whatever county, then the grand jury is made up of residents of that county. They are not brought in from other counties or other parts of Illinois. So it's wherever it happened at. Didn't it happen in Cook County? I don't know. She said, I heard this isn't Romeca's first restraining order. And then listen, even if an indictment comes down, like they say, oh, she will be indicted, 12 people think that there's enough to try the case. That does not mean a conviction. It literally means a trial. A trial. She would go to trial, which means a jury of her peers would have to listen to all the evidence, and the prosecutor will have to, plead his case, and then the defense attorney do their thing, and then boom, 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 boom. And that's what happens. But I think after presenting all the evidence, I actually don't think that they're going to indict. But if they do, because if you're pulling from the same pool and this is a high profile case, they may indict. But I'm telling you, I think that the CPD, Chicago Police Department, will leave it up to the grand jury because they do not want to make that call. They do not want to make that call. So I think they're going to send it to the grand jury and let the grand jury decide. Yep. So anyway, she said they are not going to indict. They probably not. I don't see how they can, but I don't see how they can. But I don't see. She said, I heard this isn't. She was a super. That's what call it. After 20 years, she wasn't. Oh, oh. She said if Holly was going to be charged, she would have been charged day one, not months and years later, especially when she was literally on the scene and confessed to the crime itself. That's not necessarily true. Again, charged and convicted is two different things. So I wouldn't say if she's going to be charged, she would be charged on day one. That's not how things work. You can be charged later. You understand what I'm saying? I did see something that I want to dispute right quick. Okay. Let me go get it. I seen it the other day and I was just like, oh my God, the lies, the lies. Let me go get it right quick. Let me get it. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up. I just think we're not journalists. We're just content creators, bloggers, whatever you want to call it. But I just still think that we should be a little bit more transparent than, we're doing. But uh hold on, I need to find out the correct spelling of the name. All right. So this person put up a post, and it's what it says. It says, don't forget, Susan shot a woman out her door steps from the other side of the door. And she also got no bail. No bail doesn't mean you're innocent. It took 2 years for Susan to get charged, and she got 25 years. It's not over, it's just the beginning. Let me tell you how this is emotionally driven. It's a lie. The incident happened on June the 2nd of 2023. She was arrested and charged with manslaughter, using a firearm, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault on June the 6th of 2023. So just 3 days later, actually it says, June 6th, that's 4 days later. I'm sorry. Just 4 days later, she was charged with manslaughter. So, but you see how he said it took 2 years for Susan to get charged? This is, it's a lie, but it's emotional driven and intentional lie. Literally, you can look this shit up. But the person that wrote this is not looking for anyone to fact check him, right? Do any type of research. They put out deliberate lies in order to create some type of emotional connection. I'm going to say that, right? Because saying that is not over yet, it's just the beginning. It took 2 years for her to be charged. This is just not true information. This is verifiable. You can look up type information. You can look up and see that it was 4 days later. It says 4 to 5. 4 to 5 days later that she was actually charged, not 2 years later. But again, people put out information like this to in my opinion, to stop people or to create some type of emotional hope for family and those that wants to see things happen. So I'm going to zoom in and let you see where he actually said, don't forget, Susan shot a woman out of her front door, out a woman on her doorsteps from the other side of her door, and she also got no bail. No bail doesn't mean you're innocent. It took 2 years for Susan to get charged, and she got 25 years. It's not over. It's just the beginning. This is an emotional charge post because he lied. It did not take 2 years, but again, he is hoping and wishing and praying that his supporters do not read, do not research, do not fact check. Just believe what it is he put out. This is an untrue, false statement. All right. Now, she said it took 2 years to come out with the documentary. Exactly. She was charged on the second interview. So let me tell you how police officers work, okay? Detectives. They're going to call you in and they're going to get a statement from you, right? They're going to do that normally on the first day. They're going to get a statement from you. Then they're going to let you go home, possibly. If they don't find nothing that day, they're going to let you go home. They're going to let you marinate a little bit, kind of calm down. And then they're going to call you back in again for another statement. And they may do this 2 or 3 more times until they figure out if do they have enough information to charge you or not. Why are they doing that? They want to see if your statement is consistent, or did it drastically change after you done heard what the media is saying, heard what social media is saying, or if you done looked up some shit. And they also going to check your computers to see if you have looked up things like Susan did. Susan looked up how to talk to the police. She searched stand your ground laws. So they're going to literally interview you multiple times. It may be 2, it may be 5. But they are trying to catch to see if your story is pretty much the same. When Susan came back in the second time, if you have watched this movie, you will see Susan changed her tune. And when they asked her, did you look up stand your ground laws? She tried to lie and say she did it, dealing with a whole nother case, like she ain't look it up for her own shit, right? And she also lied and, just lied. You got to see you got to see the documentary. The lady just lied. And on the second interview, not the third, not the fourth, not the fifth, but on the second interview, they found enough probable cause to charge her. The detectives did. They found enough probable cause to charge her. And they charged her on that day with manslaughter and 3 or 4 other charges. It was only 4 days, 4 to 5 days. It definitely wasn't no 2 years. So don't let the smoke and mirrors and people that do not look at you to think for yourselves, research, fact check. You understand what I'm saying? They think that you're literally just going to listen to them and roll with it. You literally have to do your homework, you guys. Don't take my word. Look it up. Look what I say. Look up what I say. If I tell you something, if you don't believe me, go fact check me. Go fact check me. Stop believing these content creators that come out here emotionally charged and trying to sway your opinion with lies. Lies. Just absolute lies. Okay? So, just letting you know, there are people out there, and it's more than just one. It's quite a few of them that will just tell you lies. Just absolutely just lie to you because they want you to believe their narrative. But anything I say, you guys can fact check it. You guys can fact check it because I want to know both sides. I don't want to just know one side. I want to see it both ways. She said, dang, that's a lot. Is that what they doing? Multiple questions. Oh, yeah, they are. They are doing that to Carlos. They want to see if Carlos or Holly changed their story. Absolutely. They are. They absolutely. They are wanting to see if their story's sticking. They want to see if it's inconsistent. They probably even doing it with the witness, but if the witness say I'm not going to testify, then guess what? Their witness statements is inadmissible. If they're not going to testify, if they do not agree to be cross-examining, then their statements is like a pile of shit in your grass. It's just going to die out and crumble up. They have to be willing to, the prosecutor can only use their statement if they are willing to be cross-examined by the defense team. If they say, no, I don't want to go to court. No, I don't want to be cross-examined. No, I don't want to be in this shit. Then they take their statement and ball that shit up and play basketball with it in their trash can. I mean, they probably shred it, but I'm just saying it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. So anyway, she said, Tammy, I will most definitely keep her in my prayers. People out here just doing her so wrong and it's not right. Yep, that's true. And somebody made a statement today, and I appreciate them for saying that because I could not have said it better. And I'm gonna go to that comment and I'm gonna read it to you because people like to try to accuse me of making a certain type of stance. But let me get to what she said because I could not have said it better. Let me get to it. I can't remember. I think it was under this post. Okay, so it was under this post. Now, all I said was there were only 2 gunshot wounds, left thigh and right face. Those areas, excuse me, hold on. Sometimes my mouth get dry. I said there were only 2 gunshot wounds, left thigh and right face. Those areas indicate someone advancing toward the shooter, not walking away. And that was after I did my investigation. This young lady comes under my comment and says, "Why are you so against Romeca? This is getting ridiculous." A young lady by the name of Shamika, she says she's not against Romeca. She's advocating for the victim. They are villainizing the victim, which is Holly, and she's debunking those people's lies. People are making her out to be this stone cold monster, and all she was doing was protecting herself and her baby. I appreciate Shamika for saying that because that's exactly what I'm doing, advocating for the victim that's being lied on. I mean, the victim meaning Holly as far as the one that's being lied on. Why am I doing that? Because if I didn't do it, who's going to do it? You got all these content creators that think it's cool to go together, right? Get on like this team shit. I ain't never really been no team person any damn way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't mind teams, but I'm just not gonna go along to get along. And I don't expect people to do that with me either. Go along to get along, right? But when I see discrepancies and I read the law and I analyze and break it down and I say, wait a minute, that ain't what Illinois law says. And I'm like, wait a minute, she did that many threats. Like I analyzed the whole thing, right? So once I do that and realize that people have gathered together, call themselves some type of team or whatnot, and getting together and spreading the same falsehoods, I feel like it is my duty to come out here and debunk their lies. Now, if they're not lying, I'm not going to say anything. But if they're lying and I catch it, now I don't watch all of them. Some of them are boring. Some of them are useless. You understand what I'm saying? And I won't give them no time of the day. But if I catch the lie, I'm going to come out and say something about it. Right? I'm gonna say something. Now I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm about to chase them down and read and listening to their bullshit because some of them are so far fetched that I'm like, say that shit out loud. Like literally say that shit out loud to yourself, right? And then tell me, does it make sense? So anyway, people like to, but I see this happening in social media. People like to say, "Ooh, who's the majority going with?" Right? And then they see who the majority going with, and then they jump on the bandwagon. Those are fucking followers. I've never been a fucking follower. Not saying I don't know how to take orders because I do. I've taken orders, right? But I'm not a follower. I'm not just going to jump on a damn train and follow people around just because a lot of people are on that train. Hell no, I don't mind standing on my own. I don't mind standing on my own. And the thing about it is, I got people in the YouTube streets upset with me because I'm doing this. They'll be all right. They will be okay. They will be just fine. I'm not worried about them being upset, right? But the truth has to be out there. Stop telling half truths. Stop telling falsehoods. Tell the whole truth. Say what it really is. Okay? She said, it's okay to have a stance as a mother. I don't understand any woman siding with Romeca's actions. She made her decision, and her decision changed both their lives. Romeca could obey law. She could if she wanted to, but baby, child, she didn't want to obey no law. She said, I wonder if one of Romeca's supporters' daughters was in the same situation as Holly against a wild, untamed bully like Romeca. Would they go against their daughter? Would their daughters be wrong? Still golden? Child, we did a whole case and I wanted the same thing. It was grandmama's dragging a 30-something-year-old woman, and I never understood that. Like, we supposed to teach our youth, right? But what we dragging them for? You had women that was in their 60s and 70s wanting to see a sex tape of a 30-something-year-old woman, and I found that very disturbing. But baby, they was paying their money to see her throw it back in a circle. Just make that make any type of damn sense. Like, literally, the internet is disgusting, to be honest with you. And I learned that since I've been a content creator. People minds are very warped. So some of these people don't love their own damn kids, and they would not protect their kids. They wouldn't do what I'm doing right now for their own kids. They wouldn't advocate for the underdog, even if it was their own child. And I don't advocate for the underdog just because, right? I advocate for the underdog if I feel that they are being unjustly treated. And Holly is being unjustly treated. You got all these content creators, only a few content creators are bold enough to actually speak the truth about this case. The rest of them are fucking followers, and they're just lying to a whole bunch of emotionally charged individuals that just want to see Holly go to jail, go to prison, or whatever the case may be. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people that just don't like pretty girls. And I see that too. I said, what's wrong with these people, right? And I think it's because they look at themselves in the mirror or whatnot, and they don't like what the fuck is looking back, you know? She said, I just don't agree with the name calling of the victim or the shooter. Oh, Tammy, I know you're not talking about me because I have not called neither one of them any names. I have not called Romeca a name, and I have not and I won't call Romeca a name, and I have not called Holly a name. I have not called them any names. I haven't even called the content creators that's doing the lying any names because I don't think it's necessary. You know, I'm not even doing that. I've done that before. I'm not doing that shit no more. It makes no sense. You know? Oh, she said, no more, not you. Oh, okay, Tammy. I'm saying you would never hear me call Romeca a name. Because in my opinion, I feel like Romeca made a bad decision. You know? She wasn't thinking clearly. I mean, she was still young and she still had time to grow, but she made a bad decision. She broke the law. She absolutely broke the law. And that's what a lot of these content creators will not say, that she broke the law. They'll sit here and try to flip it, turn it, stir it, drop it, spread it all around, and will not say Romeca broke the law. And I can't respect that. I can't respect that. I can't respect a content creator that know better and don't do better. Some of them, believe it or not, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A few of these content creators, I ain't gonna say all, but a few of them are taking the stance that they're taking because they don't like me. They don't like me. They know Romeca was wrong. She said, yes, have an individual mindset and discernment and follow the law. Exactly, Whisper. Follow the damn law. You know? Follow the law. It's the sheep effect. Exactly. A lot of them just follow. But I do hold the content creators to a certain degree. And the reason being is because, a lot of people support us and follow us and invest in our channels because they like our voice and they start to believe us, right? So I think intentionally misleading people, yeah, I don't think it's a good look. You know? I just don't think it's a good look. So, I'm looking at this again. Look at all that blood, man. That's crazy. Just crazy. This is definitely a tragic, that happened. But to sit here and be like, oh, she was jealous and she just didn't like that girl. And oh my God. And you just going to ignore all the damn threats that this woman made on Holly's life. Like, how can you do that? How can you fix your mouth to do that? But nevertheless, everybody don't think the same. She said Holly is a lioness and I love her for that. Yep, she a mama hen. I love her for that too. And simply being because I know I would have done the same thing. I was talking to somebody earlier and I said I cannot sit here and lie and say I wouldn't do the same thing. I would, it'll be lights out. And call me whatever. Think whatever you want. It would be lights out for real. Like literally lights out. Especially when it come to mine. My kids, oh, I have a different type of love for my children. And it was more when they were younger. Boy, I'm older now. I'm 53 now. They grown, but baby, when they was younger, child, I can't tell you what I wouldn't have done for my kids. Shit, I would jump out of a 100-foot building to save them from a fire. Like I would do whatever for my children. So, you know, that's just what type of mother I am. I've always been protective of my kids. And you think I'm gonna sit back and allow somebody to threaten my kids because, you think you biggity badass? Hell no. I know I would have been a Holly. I promise you I would have been a Holly. She says, do you feel that Romeca didn't have proper wisdom from older women around her to tell her to leave Holly alone since the restraining order was just a piece of paper? You know, I don't know because I really have not researched her family dynamic. But what I will tell you is when the sister came out and said that they know her temperament and she was a ball of fire or a firecracker or however she said those words, it told me that they knew that she dealt with some rage. Now, I wish they would have gotten her some help. However, everybody don't believe in that type of stuff. They think going to get help make you crazy or um, weak or soft or whatever you want to call it. They don't look at it as healing, from trauma, from childhood or whatever the case may be. They don't look at it like that. So some people don't believe in getting help. And maybe that was her family. Now, from what I've heard, I don't have no proof of this, and I ain't went down no rabbit hole to find out. I will leave that up to the defense. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get good money or whatever if it ever comes to this or whatever. Now, if they do bring it out, I'm gonna report on it, but I'm not gonna go and research it. But I heard that the family has this type of violence in their family. Like they on this type of time, right? So several of them in their families are on this type of time. Again, I don't know that to be 100% fact. That is just something that I heard. And if that's the case, then they may have thought how she moved was that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's just what our family do. We on this type of time. And if that's the case, she probably didn't have nobody in her family or in her circle to teach her better. I hear them saying, oh, she was about to make something out of her life. And then I heard, oh, she was on her way to work that morning. What does that have to do with anything? She was on her way to work that morning and she committed a crime. She committed a crime on her way to work. Let that sink in. She committed a crime on her way to work. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. She committed a crime on her way to work. Okay. Okay. She said, as a mom, that's her duty to protect and lay your life for theirs. Man, I just got chills looking at Holly's shoes. She did what needed to be done for her son. She did do what she needed to be done for her son. And a lot of people will hate you for saying that. They will call you degrading, or you just dehumanize the victim and you should be ashamed of yourself. And how can you talk like that about her? They'll say all that shit. And at the end of the day, they know your ass is telling the truth. They know your ass is telling the truth. They'll do it for their child. Any of these people around here right now, man or woman, that's trying to villainize Holly for doing what she did for herself and her child, they would do the same shit for their kids. Literally do the same shit for their kids. But they'll sit here and act like what Holly did was absolutely wrong. They'll act like what Holly did was absolutely wrong. My third grade teacher actually told my mom I needed help and she listened. Well, damn, Robbie. I'm glad your mama listened, girl. I'm glad she listened. Listen. I used to fight a lot in school too. Shit, I used to get suspended. Hell, I went to jail when I was 17 years old for what? Fighting. But that was the one time and one time only, honey. I don't like jail and jail don't like me. Them 27 hours woke me the fuck up. I keep my hands to myself. I don't put hands on people because I don't want them to put hands on me. I don't fight, but I will protect myself. She said, yes, some communities don't believe in mental health and extreme violence is not normal, especially for a beautiful young female. Exactly, because, I mean, both females look like they can get any man they want. Holly is a baddie and Romeca was a baddie. They both was baddies. You know, now I ain't going to sit here and say Carlos is a bad looking dude. I saw him, in one of his little video pictures. He's a nice looking young man. Remind me of my son. My son is also a nice looking young man, right? But child, shit. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I would act like that over no Peter. No Peter Jeter. Ain't no way I'm gonna act like that over no Peter Jeter. And I would encourage my daughters or my nieces not to do that. Don't act like that over no Peter, girl. Honey. You can be on your way to work and stop and rob a store. Or you can't be on your way to work and stop and rob a store either. Listen, the person that said, "Oh, she was on her way to work." What they forgot to say when they said that she's on her way to work, they forgot to say she was on her way to work and she stopped and committed a crime. They forgot to say that because just stopping, she committed a crime. Even just stopping and getting out, she committed a crime. She was not supposed to do that. But some people will not tell you that. They will not tell you that. And for those that will not tell you that she committed a crime, they are not reliable sources. They're not credible at all. They are withholding information. They're painting a narrative. She said, ain't no way I'll act like that for an apartment living man. Okay. And one that's not paying all the motherfucking bills. You hear me? You better be taking care of all of my family, all of us, child. We better be all right. Romeca was a raging bull that day. Who knows what she would have done? Exactly. And guess what? It's not Holly's responsibility to have to gamble and try to figure out what she would have done. So that, oh, she could have got away. She could have done that, child. That's you. You do that. Everybody, some people gonna follow the law. The law says that she was protected. The law said that she was within reason. The law says she didn't have to run. The law says she did enough. She did enough. I remember when this incident first happened, Romeca's cousin thought Holly car was the white car. She was saying how wrong Holly was to pull up on Romeca. Now she's still saying Holly wrong. Are you serious? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me Romeca's cousin thought Holly car was the white car? And she said the white car was wrong to pull up on Romeca? Girl, say it ain't so. See, I wasn't here from the beginning. Girl, are you serious? So she thought the white car was wrong in the beginning, but now all of a sudden the white car was right. Girl, stop. Are you for real? Are you kidding me? That is crazy. So she thought the white car was wrong in the beginning, but now all of a sudden the white car is right. Girl, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Y'all, you better let me hear that goddamn tape. That is crazy. So she thought the white car was Holly car, and Holly was wrong when she thought the white car was her car. But now all of a sudden, Holly wrong for being the one that got pulled up on. Make it make any motherfucking sense. Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop. Raise your hand if when this first came out, you initially believed that Holly was in the wrong? Raise your hand when it first came out. If you initially believed it, but now that you see more evidence coming out and you realize Holly was not in the wrong. Anybody? Raise your hand. I'll be one that said, before I even start talking on this case, I thought that Romeca was in the right and Holly was in the wrong only because of the news. Anybody else? From the beginning, before you start seeing evidence and this, that, and the other, did you believe Holly was wrong? All right, I see one person. She said, yes, I was emotional at first. Okay, anybody else bold enough to say it? All right, two. Anybody else? Okay, I see. All right, y'all coming in. All right, look at that. You see? You see how the media can have you believe in certain something just based off of the information that's out there? And it take bloggers like myself and others. I'm not going to say I'm the only one that's out there speaking the truth, but it take bloggers like myself to look and dissect this shit and say, whoa, wait a minute. And Naja News is one of them. She started blogging on this and she started making sense, right? She said, that's what someone else told me today. The news owe us an apology. They absolutely do, Tammy. The news owe y'all an apology because they put out some false information. And then the witness statement is embellished as fuck. And then horrible ass content creators that don't know how to tell the truth to say they miserable, pathetic ass lives. But do you see how falsehoods get spreaded? That's how falsehoods get spreaded. She said, I believe the news. I never thought that because my coworker who knew Mika said she was a crash out. Oh, damn, Susie, from the beginning, you knew it was not true? She said, nope, I knew it then. It was more to it. Oh, you did still golden? You knew it wasn't true? She said, I'm going to find that video and email it to you. Yes, email it to me, baby. You have my email? She said, is Naja still reporting on it? I don't think she is. I'm not sure, but I don't think she is. I think Naja done moved on to something else, but I'm sure once the verdict comes out or anything, I'm sure she'll say something. She said, I seen a 5'3" petite girl kick in a windshield because her man was in the car with his baby mama. Some women can snap into rage over men. Yep, they sure will. Yeah, the news, the news says school. The witness said headlock. And then they made it sound like it was a whole execution. And then when you hear, oh, she got released, you're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. She said, what changed my mind was early on was Q and a few other people who knew them statements. Then I found out the white car was Romeca and heard the witness interview. Oh, and that's what changed your mind? Girl, that's crazy. How many people actually was Team Romeca until they start peeling back the onion? Sometimes you gotta peel back the onion, baby. But some people don't know how to comprehend. So all the evidence can be right out there in their face, and they'll still call red blue and blue yellow. You know what I mean? It don't matter. She said, I watched Naja. She helped clear my head also. Okay, that's what's up. She said the news isn't always accurate. Oh, we see, honey, because they ain't never came out and said it wasn't at the school. They kept that shit. You know what I mean? She said, no, Naja moved on. It's just too much back and forth, and Professor Clump was taunting her. Her details was going to bust his cover. Her story contradicts his false narratives. See, he can taunt me all he wants to, and he probably done call me names already, and I don't give no fucks, okay? I don't care. I just don't care. That don't phase me. He can taunt me all he want to, honey. I probably won't even hear it. He won't be the only one. I got so many haters, boy, they jealous of me, baby. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I promise you I don't. They can say whatever. I didn't heard it all before. She says they said it was a murder plot scheme. Yeah, I find that to be very evil to say something like that, to literally say stuff like that. That's evil and deliberate lies. Deliberate lies. She said originally the witness said it was what looked like a headlock. Yeah. And she made it sound like the person was still being held and pop pop. You know what I mean? But that just wasn't the case. She says some folks remain chooses to remain blind to the facts. Absolutely. They will not change they will not they don't care. They'll look dead at the evidence and be like, nope, nope, not true. Not true. Because some people like staying dumb. Some people like being dumb. She said they definitely can't scare them more at all, honey. I don't care. I find them funny and goofy. First of all, that you still watching me, and then you still mentioning my name. Girl, eat my dust, child. Eat my dust, baby. I don't care about none of that. You hear me? It shows how miserable your pitiful ass is. You know what I mean? Child, bye. You an afterthought. You know what I mean? They crazy. So anyway, y'all, I'm just gonna end it. I said I was gonna do under 2 hours, child. I can't do a 2 hour lie to save my life. I can, but when you have so much stuff that you want to present, you know what I mean? You kind of like, and I will say these are not my photos. I got these from another blogger's post or whatever. And I'm like, okay, all right. But they may have described it differently. But these blood stains mean that they were absolutely close. These splatters on the socks and shit mean they was absolutely close. Now we know Carlos was close because Carlos actually went over by the body. Okay. But yeah, but I'm definitely not trying to convince people to believe me. I say listen to what I say and then go do some research on your own. And if you don't, or if I say something contradictory or something or whatever, point it out to me. Point it out to me. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna cuss you out. I'm not gonna do none of that. But if you come my comments and call me a bitch like they were doing yesterday, all type of goofy ass shit, yeah, I'm gonna cuss your ass out. For real, for real. But if you just have a difference of opinion, no, I'm not gonna cuss you out. She said they sound like Trump fake news. The evidence is lying. Yeah, that's true. They do sound like that. She said, Q said Ro was a different type of demon. That's a personal reference. Yes, they bully Naja. He hadn't mentioned you yet. I don't care if he do or don't, baby. He can. I don't give no dams. I'm still gonna do what I do. Still gonna do what I do. He can't shut me up. And none of the mobs can either. Baby, bye. But anyway, thank y'all for pulling up. I do appreciate those that blessed this channel today. Thank you, Mocha, for the membership. Appreciate you. That's an investment, baby. Appreciate you. Candy said, if you can type, you can tap that like button. Don't lurk. Support the live. Send a coffee. Talk about it more. Thank you so much, Candy. And then Sonia C, thank you for the love. Binky Bink, thank you for the love. Dion, thank you for the love. And Taurus, thank you for the love. Appreciate you guys. Listen, how many of you guys taking y'all kids trick-or-treating tomorrow? Who trick-or-treating? Y'all be careful out there now. Please be careful. Check the candy. Don't just let your kids eat the candy. Check the candy. I know there's some weird motherfuckers out here in this world. You know what I mean? Or try to go somewhere safe and do some trick-or-treating, I guess, if that's what your thing is or whatever. Or you could just simply go buy your kids some candy. But just stay safe. Tomorrow is Halloween, and I still will be live. She said, Amor, my husband heard you for the first time and asked me if you were something lawyer. I told him no. He said, ask my battle buddy, what is she waiting on? You know, I actually thought about going to law school, but baby, I just like being a blogger. I really do. Good night. Thank you for covering this case. Truthfully, Amor, we appreciate you. You are so welcome. And thank you for joining me. And I will be back tomorrow because I'm sure it's going to be some more shit. Tammy said, thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, Tammy. Thanks for coming in. They had everything last weekend, it seems. Oh, the trick-or-treat thing? Well, anyway, y'all be careful tonight and tomorrow, but I will be going live again tomorrow. So good night, everybody. I love y'all and thank y'all for pulling through. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button on the way out, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Good night.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names.
Yay! She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. She kept talking about that family. She kept talking about that family. She kept